Ladies and gentlemen, it is currently day 4 of Buffalo Bills training camp, live play-by-play reaction. I recognize that a lot of us are not lucky enough to be there in person to see what players are standing out, who is winning particular camp battles. So each and every single season, I go live for the vast majority of practice. So I can give you a consolidated sense of what is happening at practice, almost mimicking the opportunity of you guys being there in the first place, rather than you guys having to wait until the end of the day to gather all of the information, draw conclusions. I am letting you know exactly what is happening on the field as it occurs, so you could be one of the first informed. For those of you that are not there in person, happy Sunday, July 27th. I hope everybody enjoyed their day off yesterday. And man, what to look for. What to look for today, man. I know that the biggest trends, at least through the first 3 days of practice, has been complete and utter domination on the offensive side of the football. First day, we did see some positive things from the defense. And of course, you had a couple of players shine, such as Taylor Rapp on day 3, had 3 interceptions, which is encouraging because the safety room is probably number 1 on many of our lists as a concern going into the 2025 year. But make no mistake, the Bills offense has been cooking. So today, I would really walk away from this stream. I will be feeling a hell of a lot better if I hear that this is the defense's day. But beggars cannot be choosers. And I'm just excited to be here for day 4 of this morning stream. Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope that everyone is enjoying their weekend. I can imagine a lot of you are probably still working, so that is exciting. But do me a favor, as you are coming in, man, for the past couple of streams we have been doing this, we have been averaging like 320 to 350 people watching and hanging out with us live. How we are able to accomplish that is every single one of you that watches hits that thumbs up sign. The second that you hit that thumbs up sign, that tells YouTube that this stream needs to be put in front of more people. And I know for a fact there's some Bills fans out there that are interested to know what is happening out on the field. So do me a favor, as you are coming in, folks, hit that thumbs up sign. And more importantly, I'm nosy. I want to know where everybody is tuning in from this morning. Regularly, I do this roll call, and I see Bills fans from like New Zealand, Switzerland, Africa. Once I ended up seeing somebody. So shout from the rooftops. Where are you tuning in from? Let's get a good understanding of where Bills Mafia is on this beautiful Sunday morning at 9 a.m. EST. It's funny because I do have to tell you that I did make an announcement on X 2 days ago, and I said I may or may not be interviewing James Cook's agent. So that's coming today. That is coming today. We were initially supposed to meet yesterday. Something happened on his calendar. However, I am set to meet with James Cook's agent here in just a couple of hours, and we are going to be discussing some things. Maybe he'll give us a tidbit of information, how everything is transpiring with the James Cook negotiations. I figured you guys are going to be excited about that. It's still left to be decided if I'm going to bring him on this live stream or I'm going to end this stream and then do a pre-record and release it later. But stay tuned for it. Stay tuned for it, man. I am super excited, man. Zach Hiller, all right? He is an agent that also ultimately ended up closing the deal for Shamar Stewart just a couple of days ago. So you best believe I will be asking him questions pertaining to that. But damn, guys, hit that thumbs up sign, man. Roll call in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. My boy Khalil Shakir has come into the building, and he's saying, Dan, I am here. Man, you have been dominating practice past couple of days. What highlight reel are you going to show us today? That's damn right. Look at that, folks. An empty field right over at Highmark Stadium, staring us in the face. Staring us in the face right now, folks. I don't think any of us are upset about this. That's for damn sure. Whoo, baby. We have Arizona in the building. Salisbury, Maryland. Todd Krebs, I hope your Sunday is going well for you. Jacksonville, Florida. Bills Glazer, Iowa is in the chat. Penyon, New York. Southport, North Carolina. Second thumbs up. West Buffalo, New Hampshire is in the building. Good morning, in parentheses, evening from Singapore. Go Bills, Singapore. Hey, man, I like that. Hey, we have Buffalo in the chat. OU, Morgan. I'm not sure if Morgan is tuning in from Oklahoma University, but wherever, man, I hope you're enjoying your day. Hi, Dan. I am from Goldendale, Washington. My name says Kim, and I go for the Buffalo Bills. Ken, what is going on? Syracuse, New York, Kansas City, go Bills. Eric is deep into enemy territory. Man, we have to wish nothing but the best for our brother over there. 302, Delaware, baby, go Bills. Delaware is in the chat. Senior Dannington. I actually like that nickname. I'm not going to lie to you. Rochester, New York, MVP Training Camp City. We have Leon, West Virginia, at work, Iowa, go Bills. Roanoke, Virginia, in the house as the biggest Buffalo Bills fan. Downtown Buffalo. We have Claremont, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina. Michigan is in the chat. My buddy Scott Blakely, an OG on this channel, by the way. Good evening, Dan. Amazing content, my man. Been listening while I work. Chicago Mafia. Scott Blakely, man. Chicago. You know my feelings on Chicago. I love that city. It's a really, really cool city. I have been in the South since I was about 13 years old, and I would like to avoid winters at all costs. But if there was any city that I would be open to going back to, it more than likely would be Chicago. Really, really cool city. Let me see. No bones about it. Sunday morning coffee in Amherst with my man, Danny Mitchell. Damn, Danny, that's funny. That is funny because really only my friends call me Danny, which is funny. And so I know that I am, and so y'all are all my friends, by the way, but like, I'm talking like people in, my personal life call me Danny, and then I'm more of a Dan online, which is even more interesting. No bones about it, guys. Keep on doing me a favor. Roll call in the chat, and let me see where everyone is tuning in from. We have the White House is in here. El Presidente is in the chat. Melbourne, Florida. They practice on Sundays too. They do, man. Listen, they are set to take the field. So one can only assume that we have heard from the head coach in Sean McDermott day one. We heard from Joe Brady day two. And we heard from Bobby Babich day 3. So if I was a gambling man, I would say we are more than likely going to be hearing from our brand new special teams coordinator before the beginning of practice. And I know it's boring. Who cares about special teams, Dan? You should. Because last year, the Buffalo Bills, I would say, even worse than our inability to stop third down conversions, special teams was up there as far as one of the weaknesses that the Bills put out on the field. And we had this drama, especially toward the beginning of the offseason, where at first it sounded like we were going to retain our former special teams coordinator. A lot of backlash publicly. I'm not going to go out and say that that had anything to do with just 3 days later him being axed and we bring in a replacement for him. However, this special teams unit needs to see a significant improvement. So I'm curious to see what this new coach has to say. I'd say in 7 to 8 minutes, we should be hearing from him on the podium. And that is just me giving an educated guess. For all I know, we could be hearing from McDermott again. Who knows? Sir Dannington is in the chat. Ovid, New York. Smash that like button. We have a question coming in. How many days of training camp? Several. So I know that we have practice today. We have practice tomorrow. We have practice on Tuesday. Chat, let me know. I think Wednesday we do not have practice. Thursday we do, and then Friday is the scrimmage at Highmark Stadium. That's the red, white, blue game, or the red, blue game, etc. So several. And then it goes into next week, and it goes all the way up until Buffalo has their first preseason game. And that's when they conclude the live fan presence at these practices. So something to keep an eye out on. And I'm glad you brought that up because it does raise a concern for me. I am actually thrilled that for the first couple of days of practice, and for the love of God, I need to knock on wood because I do not want to jinx this. We've come out relatively unscathed. I've seen a couple of camps already say goodbye to a couple of their players, one of which tore an ACL. I believe it was a running back out of Seattle. So, I mean, let's hope that we can continue to avoid any sort of serious injury as day 4 comes around, and we'll see. Inside NFL is going to be at Bills camp today. I love it, man. Finally not working so I can read the chat. Cole, hey, man, no issue at all. Stuart, Florida is in the chat. James Johnson, Matthew, can't wait for the new unis and Bills Roundtable, counting down the days. My boy Matthew is really pumped about this Bills Roundtable, man. I am excited about it. Dan has evolved from passion Bills fan to expert delivery of content and opinion. I am perplexed on your growth and value. Amazing work. Subscribe all and hit the like button. It is free. Scott, thank you so much, man. You know, you were not the only person who's told me that. It's funny. Maybe it just took me a little while to evolve into what I was today. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the new personality trait. Have no fear. I am still a rabid Buffalo Bills fan. I am sure that my emotions, as far as this team's performance, have not gone anywhere during the season. I'm sure you'll still see me screaming at a computer screen if, for example, Buffalo doesn't execute the way that I believe that they can. But I am glad that you guys are noticing the shift into what I am doing. And I appreciate everybody for sticking around. I really do. Robert A. Wilson, good morning, Dan. Good morning to you, my friend. Question, you say our offense is good. Can it just be great and the defense is good? Yes. Yes. In fact, William, you actually took the words right out of my mouth. One specific thing our defense needs to improve on is getting off of the field earlier. I hate this notion of, oh, we're a bend but not break defense. Nobody wants to be a bend but not break defense. That's exhausting for the defense, and it diminishes their long game and their consistency out on the field as they get gassed. So we need to get to the quarterback. We need to be a quality third down defense. Last year, we were 27th. And I'm not going to sit here and pound the table and say, man, this defensive line needs to be top 5 or this defensive line needs to be top 4. This defensive line needs to be middle of the pack, 15, 14. That's it. That's all we need. And then hopefully we can retain the one bright spot of the defense last year, which was, of course, taking the football away. But yes, William, you put that eloquently. We need to have the same success offensively, and the defense just needs to step up to the middle of the pack on third down defense. That's what we need in order for us to be successful. And health, but of course that goes without saying. The Bun Twins. Let's go Super Bowl. No stop, no drop. We rock. It's a lock. Woo, man, we got Dr. Seuss up in here. Bun Twins, what's up, man? Hope all is well. We have Richie Fresh. On Sundays, we slap Bob. Yes, but let my coffee sink in a little bit, my friend. Yeah, Dan, that bend don't break has to go to an end. Real reason we haven't lifted the Lombardi. Changing this season, my man. It's just wild to me that some people could say, oh, no, that's our identity. Look, don't get me wrong. I love a good turnover, and Buffalo took the football away quite a bit last year, but I'm not very confident on relying on that because that is such an obscure thing to rely on. And there's so many different outside factors that go into it, and there's a small percentage of luck when it comes into turning the football over or getting turnovers. I don't want to rely on that. Because as far as the luck side of things, Buffalo certainly took advantage of it last year when it came into turnovers. So let's improve that third down defense. Let's improve getting to the quarterback. And again, I'm not even pounding the table for a top 5 unit. And just give me a top 15 unit, and then I think all of our questions and all of our worries will be thrilled. Oh, here we go.
Make sure our goal is I want them to make our team. If they don't make our team, I want them to make somebody else's team. And that's what we're working towards. So for me, it's coaching the player. Let's just get him better. And then his tape will tell us whether or not he's on our team. And if he's not, we want to make sure he has good tape for the other teams and maybe he gets picked up there.
Before the pads go on, how do you evaluate?
Really hard. You can evaluate, athletic movement skills along those lines. I think now, first day, in the shoulder pads, and then we're kind of progressing towards the pads. I think some of some characters will get revealed, and I'll be able to see a little bit more under the hood of what the guy can and cannot do.
How did you consume your year away, especially with all the changes that went on?
I studied a lot of football. On the side, I was working for an organization that helped other teams with draft process. So that kept me alive there. And I was able to watch a lot of film. I had all the film. And then I became probably, I didn't realize, probably a big football junkie. I mean, I was from MAC action, early in the week to college football, then to watching all the NFL stuff. But I was able to, on my time, really study the new kickoff return rule. What are guys doing? What's the trend? And then you get ideas, right? But I think within those ideas, what was different for me is I didn't have any players to coach, so I didn't know what the skill level was, if that makes any sense. Now we're into it, and I know what our guys can and cannot do, and what we're trying to get done. So it's kind of coming full circle. And then obviously getting to be full-time dad. I mean,
Chris Tabor.
It was awesome. It really was. I took my daughter to college. I didn't get to do it with the other one. I mean, that's pretty special. I got to watch my daughter. She was a senior in high school. I watched every soccer game. Instead of watching it on the internet, I was there at every game. So it was at the end of the day, it was a big blessing.
They made the move at punter to get it down to Brad.
Yeah.
What did you see in the spring and so far now that necessitated the move to keep him and not come out?
Well, it was a numbers game. And that's kind of the world that we're in with the 90 and injuries and those type of things. And, it's still a competition. Brad has not won this job. He's still competing. He understands that. And there's still you never know if Jake comes back, and Jake needs to be ready, and he will. He's a good pro. They both did a really nice job in the spring, and it's always tough to make those decisions. But I like both of them. Brad is here at this moment. I think he does a nice job with his direction and hang. He had a nice day the other day, and hopefully he can continue to build on those things. We'll
So some breaking news, folks. It does sound like the Bills are wearing shoulder pads today. Shoulder pads today, per Alex Brasky, who is out there.
Swing. So he can look at things. He likes to analyze things, but he doesn't overanalyze. And I think that's a big plus for him. Just a really normal guy, good football player.
What's your approach? I mean, Tyler's has been here for a while, had his highs and some lows. How do you approach Tyler when you take over and knowing what his history is, knowing what his capabilities are?
Well, he's been a good kicker in this league. I've faced him, when I was on other teams, but we're in the business of obviously getting better. And kicker's funny. You can go 3 for 4, and if you miss the game winner, you had a bad day. If you go 3 for 4 and you
So the gentleman on the podium is Chris Tabor. He is our brand new special teams coordinator.
Now is just get him game ready, and we don't play for a while. We don't need him to peak right now. We're working towards that. Really excited for him because he has a big leg, and he scores a lot of points, and to be able to kick in Buffalo, that's not an easy assignment. And he's done really well, and hopefully we can continue to that.
And Chris, of the star returners you've had in your career from Hester on, how often do you show your guys their old tape in terms of your philosophy and what you're on?
Well, I think that's a good question, and I try not to show, and I've been lucky with the Hester, Cribbs, Patterson, and then on the flip side you have Tariq Cohen and Jakeem Grant, two different totally body types. But I think what you have to do with our guys, and I think anybody, is they got to be themselves. You're not asking someone to be a Devin Hester or a Cordell Patterson. I think you want them to be themselves, but at the same time, maybe you can give them some nuances, maybe of what they saw. Great returners in this league are at a premium, and they can change a game in a heartbeat, and we're working towards that.
Coach Tabor, what are some of the most important football-related principles to you as a special teams coordinator?
It's our area because the roster's always moving. And this, you should write the front page news. We want a good football player, but change of direction.
Yes, he has, and he is very good. Was top 5 for quite some time.
I think this kind of goes back to the Herb Brooks 1980 USA hockey team is we want good players. But you don't good players, yes, but you want the right players. And I think that's the critical piece as we put it together. And in our world, as I watch, I'll stand off to the side and I'm watching offense and defense because I need to see who's playing in those units, because then I have to incorporate. I'm beginning to read the tea leaves. Okay, where's it at in the roster, and then starting to try to use those skill sets to place them to where they can be successful.
How do you evaluate your returners when you have several candidates, different skill sets, different varying levels of experience, especially in camp, just given the nature of it?
Yeah, it's hard to give a lot of guys opportunities, but catching on to jugs and catching live balls are two different things. And then when we get into the preseason games, I might call something different for one returner as opposed to another returner, just because maybe their skill sets are different. And because it's my job to make sure that they have good tape, right, and put it out there. So if a player can't do something, I'm a bad coach if I ask him to do that. So in the preseason, we'll juggle that and see who's available and who's going to return, and then we'll call the game accordingly.
You weren't in the trenches with the kickoff rule last year when it started, but how much better understood is how to operate and make use of those rules this year after having a whole season of league-wide film to look at it?
It's I still think it's going to work in progress. It's great from the standpoint. I think it's the safety factor has been great. The league's done a nice job there. But there's some other things that you want to treat it like a kickoff return play, but then sometimes you venture into the punt return world, and then just covering the kick is different because there's not the space and the speed that you could build up like you used to. So things are constricted. So guys getting off of blocks and those type of things a little trickier. But it's something that I think that has gotten better throughout the year. You saw more returns, bigger returns. We're going to see even more, I believe, just with the touchback going to the 35 now. So a lot more viewable plays, I guess, is how you would say it. So we got to be good there.
Because of your special teams background, you're mentioning Maction. Do you have a relationship with Coach Lembo at UB?
Met him, and I always known a lot about him and got the utmost respect for him. I mean, he's a well-respected. I know he's doing a great job there as head coach, but he's been known in our world as a great special teams coach, and got a chance to visit with him on our rookie day draft there, and first-class guy. And anytime I can pick anybody's brain, I will definitely do it.
Chris, now when you want to accomplish both, in your priorities, do they rank differently in terms of making big plays, like in a return game, or preventing them? Like when you look at success from an individual game?
Well, I tell you what, I got to be able to sleep at night. So if we have a big return, I'd sleep well. But if we had a big return and gave up a big return, I'm not going to sleep very well. So I need to do both. And that's what we're going to try to shoot for. I mean, it's our job to handle field position, right? And, like you say in kick return, you either want to score, set up the score, and give the ball to our offense and let them go at a good starting spot. And then obviously, we got to try to pin them back and make them go the long field. And then, our defense sets it up, and then maybe that turns into the punt return game, which then sets up the offense. That's our job. So we got to do both.
Chris, you talked about turning the football field into a classroom before. What's the biggest challenge for you when you have a whole new roster versus coming back to a coaching staff where you have some returning players, at least you do?
Well, what's been fun is I've learned a lot from these guys themselves. I love to ask players, how do you see that? I was asking Gilly the other day. I said, hey, just tell me a little bit on kickoff. How did you see that? How did you play that? What's the new? Put me underneath the helmet a little bit and give me your perspective so I can keep learning. Our guys are really smart, intelligent football players, and it's been an easy transition because they're into football. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.
We have Chris Tabor. Ladies and gentlemen. Just ended up hitting the podium, and we heard quite a bit. Hold up. I am actually talking to James Cook's agent right now, Zach Hiller, on the stream. Hold up. Damn, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's go on ahead and take a look at what he had to say. And by the way, everyone that is coming in, sorry about that. I'm trying to coordinate with my boy Zach. All right. He said he's hopping on the stream. He said he's hopping on the stream, folks, a little later. If you can do it closer to 11, feel free. That's when practice tends to scale down. I'm going to give him the StreamYard link in case he wants to follow up. All right, perfect. Fire McDummy is saying, all right, right in the middle of this video, a commercial from Hims just popped up. How's the hair situation going, my friend? I'm just kidding. Anyway, Hims, baby. Look at that. All right, so anyway, we just ended up hearing from the special teams coordinator, folks, and I got to tell you, what's interesting to me is he said a lot of interesting stuff. Number one, our punting battle, because quite a few of us, I think, were wondering, why the hell did we go with Brad Robbins opposed to Jake Kamara? Because Jake Kamara, on paper, is a way better punter. And what we heard from Chris Tabor, and I know a lot of us ended up losing some sleep once we heard this from, okay? He said that Brad Robbins was chosen because it was a numbers game. And folks, I think this all but feeds fuel to the fire right now, that this had everything to do with Dawson Knox being added to the IR, or whether or not that it was another player, whether or not that it had to do with so-and-so. But we had to bring in a new tight end to compete because Dawson Knox was not out there providing reps. Hence why they thought, hey, whatever, let's get Kamara off of the books for the time being and make Brad Robbins win this job. It sounds to me, based off of what Tabor just said, that Robbins, by no stretch of the imagination, has locked down this position and is still competing, although he is the only punter on the 90-man roster. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. But that's interesting. He did talk about the new kickoff rule as well. Do keep in mind, while Chris Tabor was a top 3 special teams coordinator at Carolina just two years ago in 2023, he spent all of 2024 away from coaching football. So this is his first time dealing with this new rule. And he mentioned this, which is funny. He says it's his first time dealing with it, and he wants to treat it like a kick return play, but venture to a punt return, because there's not space and speed that you used to be able to create and to build up to. Guys getting off of their blocks is a bit trickier. So remember, this is going to be a learning curve for him as well. He has plenty of film on this play, but at the same time, what's it going to look like? What is it going to look like? Corey, I have a YouTube premium, so I never get ads. Kelly has come in as Bills wide receiver again because David White has retired. Kelly has ventured back onto the roster. Folks, we are going to be seeing quite a bit of this. Do not fret if, for example, you see a guy that is your camp sweetheart that you think, oh my God, oh man, he has a real shot at making this team. This is going to be a regular occurrence where somebody is released, but then there's an injury, or then somebody else is released, and then somebody is brought back in. It's going to be a carousel. It's going to be a carousel for quite some time. Guys, 136 of you are currently rocking with me right now on YouTube. I need each and every single one of you. To hit that thumbs up sign. I am consolidating every single piece of information that is coming through on Bills training camp live out on the field. Fun fact, we are officially welcoming James Cook's agent onto the show a bit later. I know a lot of us want to get a good understanding of how the negotiations are coming. Maybe we can get a good understanding of how James Cook is feeling now that he ended up showing up to camp by itself. But Zach Hiller, CEO of Loyalty Above All Sports and Entertainment, should be joining us here in just an hour or so. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up sign, folks, and let's lock in some things to think about at practice. Hit that thumbs up sign. Let's lock in. All right. I want to build the biggest live chat community on the internet. I think that we can get it done. Did I hear that right? Just woke up. Yes, the agent, James Cook's agent, is going to be joining us on stream. He said by 12 noon. I'm trying to get him on a bit earlier so I can have a pretty good conversation with him. But we shall see. Get this dude some Ambien this season. He is going to need it. what vet is sweating their job right now? It's interesting. I'd probably say Dane Jackson. He's a depth corner. He's going to be competing with Dorian Strong. Same thing with Cam Lewis. As we see rookie first round Max Harrison hyping up the crowd, he's had an up and down day at practice, or excuse me, his training camp has been up and down. He has been dominating in particular areas of the game and then going in an entire separate direction. Khalil Shakir signing autographs early at Bills camp. Shout out to Shakir. Look, yo, where's Shakir in the chat, man? Where's Shakir in the chat? And dude always comes in here. Dan, what's up, my man? Hanging out. Dan's working on a Sunday. Give the man a like. Always need to, man. Always need to. I have a duty to keep you guys entertained. 141 of you are currently rocking with me in the chat right now. Please do me a favor. Smash that like button if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. All right. Right now, I think, let me go ahead and double check. All right. 139 on YouTube. I'm going to scroll down. 79. No, folks. We're going to get that up to 140. We are going to get that up to 140. Let's hype this up and let's learn as much as we can from practice. How do you know that's actually James Cook's agent? Is it really him for real? Yes, most definitely. We have been in contact for a while. I actually met him a couple of months ago when I had to coordinate Shamar Stewart's father onto a Roundtable Sports show. Yes, it is him. It is 110% him. It is James Cook's agent, Zach Hiller. I imagine not. Well, if his agent wants some airtime. No. Dude, trust me. He's the man. He's the man. You are going to love him. Good morning, Dan. Let's go, Bills. We have a bunch of, it's a pounding. Guys, listen, fasten your seatbelts. We are going to be having a great show today. I have met a few of the Chiefs players' agents now, usually great folks that just want to help out their guy. I have not met one I didn't like. Zach is a class act, and I cannot wait to welcome him on. Good morning, Dan. What's up, dude? How you doing? Hello. I am going to Bills training camp August 3rd. Enjoy. Question, and do you think the lack of pass rush is a major reason why our defense struggled to get off of the field? That is the only reason why we struggled to get off of the field. Like, you can't rest your laurels on the off chance of being able to create a turnover. Even if your team averages 2 turnovers a game, that's still not enough. You need something else in your bag to help propel your defense to providing your offense more opportunities. So yes, man, most definitely. Pass rush is and always will be the most important thing I think a defense needs to implement. Like and smash, folks. Like and smash. I like that, Dan G. Johnson. And speaking of which, Dan G. Johnson, he provided a nice little super chat onto the show saying, time to put belt to ass on the Dolphins. Go Bills. He is already prepping for the rivalry matchup, and I can appreciate that. Mafia Sports Report. Dan, I am glad McDermott actually made a change with Smiley. He's actually brought in very good coaches over the last few seasons with Cromer and Tabor. Me too, man. I'm very optimistic with Chris Tabor. He was very effective in Carolina. In fact, somebody in the chat said top 2. So he was the second best guy out there. So perhaps that is the thing. How is he going to adjust to some of these new rules, though? That's my question, especially since this is his first time digging into the new kickoff rule. And remember, he did mention something on his stream, which I totally forgot about. Now touchbacks start at the 35-yard line. So what is his strategy going to be? A special teams coordinator and a special teams unit in and of itself, their entire responsibility is establishing field position for the Buffalo Bills and whoever we are playing. So can he improve there? We have Shakir out there, man. He's running his drills. He's running this practice. Maxwell Harrison. Guys, if you are coming into the chat already, I got to tell you what, man, this is day 4 of live play-by-play reaction to Buffalo Bills training camp. If you can do me a favor, because I am consolidating all of this information to you so that way you feel like you were there in person, ready to go. Hit that thumbs up sign, folks. 160 of you are watching. Let's get this up to 160 like button smashed. I think that we can do it. And you know what? I need another roll call as well. I need another roll call in the chat, folks. Where are you tuning in from, Bills Mafia? Let me know. Let's start having some conversations about this damn team. He's coming in. Where are we with the cap? If over, how long do we have to get under? So there's a lot of conflicting reports. Spot Track, I think last time I checked, had us minus 800,000. I think Over the Cap had us at minus 90. Whatever it is, more than likely, I think that we are cap compliant. But what is factual is that we are dead last in the league right now. Dead last in the league. So there are a couple of things that we could do. Now, we could restructure Deion Dawkins. We could restructure Dawson Knox. Or we could also extend James Cook. That would create space. Now, how important is space for this team? I would like a little bit of cushion, especially since that injuries specifically tend to happen all the time. So if that's the case, folks, what we need to do is make sure we have a bit of an insurance policy and an emergency bank account in case we need to make a move toward the trade deadline. Folks, do me a favor, start sounding off in the chat. Where are you tuning in from? Hit that thumbs up sign. I am consolidating all of the information that has to do with the Buffalo Bills Day 4 training camp, almost to mimic that you would be there in person, watching it yourself. I do this every single day. If you appreciate it, hit that thumbs up sign. And also a special guest is going to be joining us here in about 2 hours, maybe 2.5. Our good friend, Zach Hiller, CEO of Loyalty Above All Sports and Entertainment. He is an NFL agent. He represents the likes of Shamar Stewart, Dalvin Cook, and wait for it, James Cook as well. So we're going to be having a pretty good conversation with Zach live on stream. Kelly was released 4 days ago, but now is a Buffalo Bill since David White decided to retire. Shout out to the video to Alex Brasky. Day 4 of Khalil Shakir out there running his damn routes. We're all excited about it. Buffalo, New York. Iowa, Batavia, New York. I am going to the Ravens and the Dolphins game. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it. Connor McGovern can be extended. He could also be extended. That is somebody to consider. Go Bills coming straight from Ohio. Mark has come in. I'd hate to see Cook go to another team after our coaches have spent the time developing him into the amazing running back he has become. Stewart finally signed. Indeed. I'm going to be asking him a couple of questions about Shamar Stewart. So feel free to stick around. But I know you guys want to hear about the status of James Cook, how these conversations are going. We're going to be having a good time. Pay Cook, Sebastian Zemo, Rochester, New York. Colin is in the chat. Guys, 139 of you rocking with me on YouTube. Do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up sign right now. Hit that thumbs up sign right now, folks. We have 94. There's no reason we can't be above 135 thumbs up signs, guys. Let's lock it in. For everybody tuning in on X, feel free to come on over to YouTube. We are going to be letting you know everything that is happening out on the Buffalo Bills field this morning. King Khalil getting ready for Day 4. And shout out to each and every single one of the beat reporters we see on screen today. They are out in the trenches giving us all of the information that we need to react to. If I show you anything from Brasky, from Bill's Outlet, from Matty Glab, from Sal Capaccio typically, feel free to go on ahead, guys, and give them a follow on X and let them know who sent you. All right, folks, because we want to go on ahead and spread the love over here. We have a very large live chat community, and I just want to make sure that we show everybody the love that they deserve. And continue, folks, to roll call in the chat as we wait for some tidbits of information that comes out of camp. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Go Bills, and good morning, Dan. Thank you for the stream. No problem, man. Happy Sunday to all of you. I'm going to the Bills-Browns game. What's up, party people? Mafia is the best fan base in the world. Paying Cook would also free up money, and it would add an extra year on his deal. Dan, the Mafia man. What is good, bruh? Beth, I am doing fantastic. I hope you are doing well. Bills practice should be starting here any moment. And when I say Bills practice, I mean some of the juicy details. 7-on-7s, who's running with the ones, who's running with the twos, the whole nine. Question, what would you do as being if Cedric Van Pran Granger showed he was more than ready to start at either center or guard? Would you re-sign McGovern and move him back to guard? So McGovern is a true center. He played center in college, and he was moved almost reluctantly to the left guard position while he was with Dallas. So I don't think you fix what's not broken. If Cedric Van Pran impresses this camp and into the preseason, what I think would make sense is more so moving Cedric Van Pran Granger, or at least experimenting with him next training camp at the left guard position. And that, of course, is as if we decide that we want to extend Connor McGovern. For all I know, Ced goes off and like he proves, hey, listen, I can be that guy. I can be the leader of this offensive line that has been so dominant for the past couple of years. Maybe we decide to move on from Connor McGovern. I'm not willing to buy into that just yet. But no, I do not think that there would be a world where, say, for example, we were to keep both of them on this roster, that we would move Connor McGovern back. Unless, of course, that there was some obscure emergency that we would need to address here. Dan, gotta ask, are you superstitious? I'm just a little stitious, my friend. I am just a little stitious. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm a big Office fan based off of that statement. Not so much. So I'm not one that's going to be concerned with somebody on the internet jinxing a team. I've never really bought into that somebody's statement is going to jinx it. I just think sometimes certain statements can play an effect on a player's psyche and mindset going into a game. Sometimes I think that media, or sometimes it could even be a small-time creator, could say something that can get into a player's head prior to a game, maybe affect his play and add to the pressure, which ultimately ends up sort of screwing with their mindset, but is what it is. We have AJ Epinesa has returned from injury and is set to practice per Alex Brasky, folks. That is a big update, folks. AJ Epinesa, who punched a rookie in the face 2 days ago, but then also ended up leaving with an apparent injury, is back on the field. AJ Epinesa is back on the field. Love to see that. Love to see that. We do not want to see any Buffalo Bills player see any sort of significant injury. Let's get these boys the reps that they need to finally help us get over the hump in 2025. Central Square, New York, Bill Willis, a proud member of the channel. We had a lot of members added to the community yesterday, courtesy of some of our fine members. Garth, as a matter of fact, Garth, who was sitting there and donating and gifting as many memberships as possible, man. A special welcome to all of the new members in the chat. Central Square, New York, go Bills. And in response to that Georgia shirt, hook 'em horns. Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, fun fact, Bill Willis, I will tell you what, we are actually launching a college football show on Roundtable Sports next week. I will be one of the hosts. And have no fear, man. Listen, it's going to be me and a Big Ten guy. So we have a Big Ten host and an SEC host. I'm an SEC fan, an advocate for the SEC being the greatest college football conference in the world. So I think we can at least agree on that, but we'll see. We will see. I am a big Arch Manning fan. I do want to see him live up to the hype. I'm chilling for a minute. Big move happens today, getting a moving truck here at about noon. I'll tell you what, you and I are on the exact same page. We ended up spending all day yesterday packing and boxing up the house. I'm obviously waiting for my office to be the last thing. I am moving next Friday. So I don't know. It's exciting, but it sucks at the exact same time. So I share that sentiment, Beth. Jared, how much do you think is smart for the Bills to pay James Cook when we have such a dominant offensive line? So I'll tell you what, Jared, we are going to have all of your questions answered here in just a couple of hours, because we are going to be welcoming on James Cook's agent. I'm curious to see how negotiations are going. I'm curious to see how close he was to a holdout. I'm curious, rate of a lot of things, especially when it comes into our running back. Stay tuned. Stay tuned in just an hour. We have Josh Allen punching the clock, folks. Looks like the Buffalo Bills are well into their individual drills today. That's a good thing, man. That is a good thing. We have Alex Brasky, King Khalil getting ready for day 4 at Bills training camp. What to see, folks. What to see. 406 of you rocking with me right now, guys. 178 of you are tuned in to my live play-by-play reaction of Buffalo Bills training camp, waiting on 7-on-7s. We heard from special teams coordinator If you guys are just coming in, I am consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of camp. So say, for example, that you want to lock in and treat me like a radio show while you're doing yard work outside. I know it's Sunday. I know some of you are still working, but say, for example, you are enjoying your weekend and maybe it's your yard work day, all right? And you just want to be kept informed so you don't need to gather all the information at the end of the day to understand what we're getting out of our Buffalo Bills. I highly encourage you stick around. And more importantly, if you enjoy these sort of streams, if you're appreciating this style, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign, folks. As I said, I mean, we have a whopping 180 of you are in here hanging out with me. Let's go on ahead and let's get this like button up to 150. I know for a fact we can do that. We are at 108. Hit that thumbs up sign. Takes less than a millisecond to show a little bit of love over here. Let's lock in, folks. Let's lock in. John has come in. Dawson Knox still practicing on the sidelines. Look, it's got to be a decision from the front office that has everything to do with playing it with caution. He's on the non-football injury report. The fact that he is still practicing on the sideline is encouraging. I have a feeling that we're just trying to slow walk him because we're just trying to prevent a more severe injury down the road. I'm happy with it. Dawson Knox is practicing on the sideline. That's a pretty key update, and I appreciate that. Bang with it for a second, folks. Let's go. LFG Mafia. Like, share, subscribe. Hey, Tommy. Dan, do you remember Epinessa's performance in that Jacksonville game in London? Can we get more of that guy this season? As much as I want to remain optimistic for AJ Epinesa, man, I think that he's just a rotational guy for us. One thing he is pretty good at is tipping the ball at the line. That man is very good at getting his hands up. Okay, so we have Alex Brasky with the first update at camp, it appears. Bills will be wearing shoulder pads and helmets during day 4 of training camp, per special teams coordinator Chris Tabor. Looks like just shells from my vantage point. So probably not a lot of contact today. Maybe it's just sort of helping them get used to wearing pads again. So again, we're probably not going to be getting a lot out of the trenches, folks. But stay patient. I am hoping by tomorrow, I think full pads go on, or maybe even practice 6. We're going to see. Headphones, lawnmower, and Dan Mitchell magic. That is me. Dude, listen, I knew that some of y'all were doing some yard work watching this damn show. In fact, let me know in the chat if you're currently doing yard work. Now I'm curious. Dan, when you going to rent an AM radio station for $1,500, man, listen, dude, AM radio? Nah, dude, listen, I'm fine with YouTube. That's where my people are. That is where my family is. I'm sticking on YouTube for all these live shows, man. AJ is great backup that was ruined by the coaching. Drafted as a power rusher at 280, made him drop to 245 and turn into a speed rusher. That's an interesting take. That is a very interesting take. Dan in the morning, 1300 a.m. Dude, so I'm not even sure about y'all, but so does anyone listen to the radio in general? And if you do, does anybody listen to AM? That's a thing. I honestly don't think I have listened to the radio in probably about 10 years. So as far as news style things, what I'll do is just listen to podcasts and music. Same thing with Spotify, streaming softwares. I honestly haven't listened to the radio in 10 plus years. I think that's kind of about where I'm at. Yes, Monday is full pads, John Roberts. I don't know specifically, but I do think that it should be coming soon. Cam Lewis is at slot cornerback with the first team defense during walkthrough install. Taron Johnson on the sideline, no helmet, veteran rest day. Guys, watch this matchup right here. This is likely telling you, per Alex Brasky right now, that Taron Johnson may be a vet rest today. Taron Johnson may be on vet rest. And then Cam Lewis is starting as the nickel corner with the ones. Why I say that? Why I say that? This is going to be a day that I genuinely believe we are going to start to get some answers on Cam Lewis versus Jordan Hancock, the Ohio State slot corner that we drafted in the draft. He's also listed as a safety, same exact player. Cam Lewis and Jordan Hancock, from a skill set perspective, are the same type of player. Who wins? It's either going to be Cam Lewis or it's either going to be Jordan Hancock. I think that's something we can all grow to accept. Orion is coming in. Morning, Dan. Would you be surprised if Landon Jackson completely takes over AJ Epenesa's role by the end of the season? Not right away, but more and more each week as Landon is a big contributor. That is a take that I do not hate whatsoever. I could see it happening. I do think that Landon Jackson still has a bit of room to develop as an actual pass rusher. He's great against the run. He is very good against the run, but still needs to develop, especially with his pass rush moves. I'm not sure if one full season is going to get him closer to his ceiling, but that is something to look out for. Yes, Monday is full pads, according to Sal. Okay, Monday is full pads, folks. Tomorrow is going to be the day. Tomorrow is going to be the day where we finally start to see true conclusions and true takeaways from the trenches, from offensive line, defensive line. That's when we start to see it. When I see things on X and people are listing out their standouts for day 1, 2, and 3, and if I see anybody on the defensive line, I'm like, come on, dude. Really? Is that person really, really, really going to be so a standout for you, especially since there's no pads out there? But that's interesting. You have Cam Lewis is starting as the slot corner with the ones. Cam and Jordan Hancock will be battling. Okay, talk to me. All right, so that is an interesting tidbit from Alex Brasky. We have Bills reports. 2 new guys that weren't previously on the injury report that are not practicing today. Curtis Samuel hamstring, Terrell Bernard hamstring. Okay, folks. 2 new injuries. 2 new injuries, both hamstrings. Curtis Samuel and Terrell Bernard. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Sad news, but let's go on ahead and hope that we sense all of these guys with air. All right. Let's be careful with our players. Let's be careful with them. Today is Taron Johnson's birthday. So Taron Johnson, it sounds like he's having a nice little vet rest day, hanging out on the sidelines. I'm okay with that. Joker, Purcell Capaccio, full pads on Monday at practice. Good to know. DF Forever, what's the link to that X site that you get all this information from, or is it an ancient secret? No, man. This right here is a private list. What I did is I just made a list for myself, and I just put in the names of all of the Bills personalities that I knew were going to be at camp, and we just end up utilizing this so I can convey this information onto the airwebs for all of you. Something each and every single one of you can do, especially say that you're trying to have a consolidated forum of everything that's happening at camp. Here we go. Brandon Bean is talking to the 16-year-old Tommy at Bills camp. Tommy announced the Bills' first-round pick this year. 2 new guys are on the injury report, as we already saw, folks. Curtis Samuel and Terrell Bernard, unfortunately, are not going to be participating. That's completely fine. Bubble wrap these guys. You all know that I'm a Curtis Samuel stan. I need this dude to play. Spencer Brown, Dawson Knox, Cedric Van Pran Granger, wide receiver Laviska Shenault, and Dorian Williams are still not practicing. That is good information to know, folks. I'm going to add it to my list here. Bang, bang. You have Curtis Samuel, Terrell Bernard have been added to that list. Unfortunately, injuries are just how it is nowadays, folks. I agree he needs to develop to adopt to the NFL level play, but I'm betting on a great season 1 and taking over AJ's role. Thank you for responding. Go Bills. Well, let me tell you what, Orion, listen, I can only imagine this might be one of your few experiences right on this channel or one of your first times. No problem, man. Listen, my show is all about engaging with you guys in the live chat. I want to know, okay, what is going through the minds of Bills Mafia. I refuse to just yap into a microphone to nobody right on my streams. I want to keep you guys informed. I want to keep you entertained. And more importantly, I want to talk to you guys and build a relationship. with each and every single one of you. All about NFL football. Good morning, Dan. Greetings from Germany. Great content. We love it here overseas. Keep on going. Thank you so much. All about NFL football. I'll tell you what, man. One thing on my bucket list is to go to Oktoberfest one day. I would love to go there, experience the whole thing. Let's figure it out. I don't mind these early soft tissue injuries. Get it over with nice and early. Dan, would you be surprised if Josh Palmer has more receiving yards than Shakir this year? I would. I definitely would. Shakir, for me, has been looked at as only a slot guy. And people typically look at slot wide receivers and they say, oh, that guy's not a wide receiver, number one. Where right in retrospect, it's the complete opposite. There are several homegrown names with several NFL teams that have a slot guy as their number one wide receiver. Think of Amon-Ra St. Brown for the Detroit Lions. Think about Cooper Kupp for quite some time as well. So I think Khalil Shakir still has the trust of Josh Allen. He's still the most familiar with the system. Even if Josh Palmer ultimately ends up taking over midway through the season, I still think the early targets to Shakir are going to project him to be the number one guy as far as targets. But we'll see. Listen, as long as this offense takes the exact same motion as they did last year and are still just as effective, I'm going to be a happy dude. Zero questions asked. Zero questions asked. Okay. With Bernard out, this is per Alex Brasky, Balin Spector, Shaq Thompson worked in with the first team during walkthrough install. Folks, that is interesting. And Brasky ended up putting Spector with a graph trending up. We all know how we feel about Balin Spector. I think he is an absolute bum, okay? I hate to be that guy. I hate to say that about anybody on the beloved Buffalo Bills team, but Spector is a liability. However, what I am encouraged about is certainly seeing how our boy Shaq Thompson, the seasoned vet coming out of Carolina, is going to look like. We have Bill's Outlet has come in. D-line going through individual drills. Shout out to Bill's Outlet for showing a little bit of love. Dorian Williams, who left practice on day 2 with a calf injury, is now in a boot. That's big, folks. Dorian Williams is in a boot. That sucks. That sucks because we have all been worried about this Buffalo Bills linebacker room. So regarding health. So luckily we run nickel, right? So typically we're only having 2 linebackers out there at any given moment. But now that we have that next man up, if Bernard and Matt Milano, and let's be honest with ourselves, have not proven that they could stay healthy. And by the way, we already have Terrell Bernard out today with a hamstring injury too. That's tough. That is tough. I really don't like how this linebacker room is starting off camp so far, folks. I'm not going to lie. Dan, would you be surprised if Josh Palmer has more yards than Shakir this year? Not saying Shakir has a down year, but I think Palmer will be huge. He is the wide receiver we needed, and that connection is sky high. I'm not going to be upset with it at all, Ryan. I am not going to be upset with it at all. So I think that he's going to play the role that Amari Cooper should have last year. But that's just kind of where it is. We have cornerback Taron Johnson is still going through individual drills, though he has no helmet on. He's probably having a birthday day off. Folks. With Bernard out, Balin Spector and Shaq Thompson worked in with the first team during walkthrough install. We've seen this already. D-line going through individual drills. We saw Dorian Williams, who left practice on day 2, is now in a boot. Let me see. Chat between TJ Sanders, veteran Joey Bosa before day 4 of Bills training camp begins. It sounds like that Bills practice is starting to ramp up, folks. Some storylines, new storylines. We'll see. I know Balin gets a lot of hate, but he was a 7th-round pick. Indeed. Context is indeed important. I totally get that. It's July, and the defense is already injury-riddled. LMAO. It's not the only team that's dealing with this. I'm sure that if you go to NFL.com and look at the transaction report, which also includes injury updates, you'll see a list very similar to what Buffalo is dealing with right now. This is a contact sport, right? This is a sport that requires a very high level of athletic performance So these soft tissue things are going to happen. Like, we are not going to come across any NFL team right now that does not have a couple of guys sitting on the sideline due to some bumps and bruises. It's the nature of the game. It's something, unfortunately, that is just a cruel reality of ways to look at it. Dan, if you're in a boot, that's 6 to 8 weeks. Week 3 is the earliest for Dorian Williams. Hence why maybe we're putting so much sentiment on making sure that Terrell Bernard is out on the sideline and not trying to rush him back. Because that hamstring injury would be an absolute travesty if that was the case. Babylon Spectre, a.k.a. Glass Joe. So you can argue he was a big contributor to the loss against the Chiefs divisional, and Mahomes could do whatever he wanted over the middle of that game. Spectre. Him, and then I'd probably also say that Kyer Elam getting absolutely burned every single rep attempting to guard Xavier Worthy was not helpful either. So it's the same story over and over again, which makes it very frustrating. We always end up losing key pieces to our defense as we continue to move forward in the playoffs. Thankfully, this year, it appears that we addressed it from a depth perspective, but let's just cross our fingers and hoping for the best. Morgan, it happens. He wasn't a first-round bust. He came in when we needed and was a solid run-stopping linebacker. And do you think Ray Davis will be used more as a goal line back instead of Cook or Josh this season? Say, for example, that the tush push were to be banned, I would say that Ray Davis would have a great season. And I do think he would be utilized so within those short yardage situations and also on the goal line. But since the tush push is back, I kind of think it's still going to be the Josh Allen show. I still think that's going to be the case. However, so I do see, so especially when it comes into Ray Davis, his production, his targets / his handoff skyrocketing a bit just going into year 2. So I do see a slight uptick in his production. You think that we will have a player reach 10 plus sacks this season? I mean, wouldn't that be nice? I feel like last time we had a 10 plus sack guy was before Sean McDermott. I would love to. So we have a pretty heavy rotation on the defensive line. It's tough for me to pinpoint it to anybody, but say that someone has a good opportunity of doing so, I'd probably have to go with Ed Oliver, to be honest with you. And that is a hot take. I understand it. But if Daquan Jones can stay healthy, same thing with Gregory Rousseau, and they do their jobs, I think Ed Oliver might be the dude to get 10 plus. That is a hot take. I understand it, but I don't know. Okay. One of the mysteries entering Bills training camp was defensive tackle Larry Ogunjobi, and he will be suspended for the first 6 games of the regular season. What will his role be when he returns? I will answer that for you, Alex. He is going to be next up in the depth chart as a one-tech defensive tackle to, of course, Daquan Jones. There is the answer. I'm going tubing. Y'all have a good rest of your Sunday. Be good, do good. God bless, and go Bills. Enjoy tubing, man. That is one of the best things that you could ever ask for. Guys, 212 of you are rocking with me right now. I am consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of camp. I'm going to need everybody in here to hit that thumbs up sign for me. It takes less than a millisecond to just hit that thumbs up sign. We want to propel this out to the Bills universe so we can get more Bills fans in here. We're trying to grow a wonderful community on this YouTube channel so everybody can stay informed of what is happening across camp. So sound off, everybody. Sound off, everybody, man. And make sure you hit that like button. Let's lock in. DF forever. What people have to understand is if our vets so much as have a pinky finger strain, they are done for the day. You have to err with caution in this practice. We see updates all across the NFL world of players going down with season-ending injuries during this time of the year. And Buffalo is playing it smart. They really, really are. I'm encouraged. I am encouraged. Leonard Floyd was the last Bill to get 10 plus. Wish we kept him for another year. Yeah, so the dude was bag chasing, right? Like, I don't think that he wanted to go to any specific team for a ring. I just think that he wanted to get his. And there's nothing wrong with that. And there is nothing wrong with that. And so I want to say that he got 10 exactly. What's up, Dan? Go Bills. Cameron Briglin, what is going on with you, man? How are you doing, guys? 495 of you in here. 210 of you are currently rocking with me. Guys, hit that thumbs up sign. I am consolidating every single piece of information that comes through on camp today. Waiting on 7-on-7s. We have learned from brand new special teams coordinator Chris Tabor. I'm very excited to see how this kick return battle goes. We have Lorenzo Alexander helping out with the Buffalo Bills training camp, folks. Who remembers this guy? I know that I certainly do. Have pads on for the most part, shoulder pads or shells. Still not a lot of contact if you were to ask me, but here we are. Bills wide receiver Curtis Samuel and linebacker Terrell Bernard, hamstring, not practicing today, and AJ Epinesa has returned to practice. We have Knox on the sideline, folks. Like we said, that is helpful. It looks like his leg is wrapped off to the right. Let's hope for the best. Orion has come in. Let's say Deon Walker is fully healthy this season. Would you be surprised if he's a big contributor and reaches 5 sacks? So I think that he'll be active for the first 6 games of the year. But then as soon as when Larry Ogunjobi comes back, I think that he's going to be a healthy scratch for the most part. He has the size profile to potentially be a good one-tech defensive tackle. But as far as his skill set, he's going to need a little bit of time to develop. And let's remember, of course, he is a 4th-round pick. And many people are saying, oh, it had everything to do with his back injury in 2024. So I still need to be made a believer, if that makes sense. So I have a feeling that Walker is going to be a project for Buffalo. And once Larry Ogunjobi comes back, he's going to be the next one behind Daquan Jones, followed by Deon Walker, because that's honestly where I think they are going to want to put him. Your daily dose of Matt Milano. Please, Matt Milano, for the love of God, all right? Do not tear a bicep. I'm going to need this guy to, scale it down to about 50%, all right? For the love of God, we already have a couple of linebackers hurt. Have Dorian Williams in a boot, folks, and Terrell Bernard is off on the sideline with a hamstring injury. That is less than ideal. We have Lorenzo was my favorite Buffalo Bill. Carl has come in with a statement. And the defensive line and the secondary affect each other. Hopefully, we will have a good pass rush and keep pressure on Mahomes. So that will help with coverage on the back end. Let this team be healthy come January. Absolutely true. What are we thinking if the season started today? Who is CB2 right now? So based off of reports, I would probably say that Trey White is CB2. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to win it, but as far as consistency, so I think that Maxwell Harrison has certainly had his ups and downs. So we just need to see Max Harrison, and so just do his thing, right? We're going to have to see what he looks like in some preseason reps and the whole 9. As we see the GM, the man of the hour, Brandon Beane, walking into camp. Yeah, nobody's upset about that. Carly. And so Lorenzo had a year with 12 sacks. Not too bad. Great damn guy. Yeah, look at how teams carve us up with inside runs. Benny, that's on the pounds, and the defensive tackles control the line of scrimmage, take the blocks, and linebackers fill, but they do not. Clarksville, Tennessee. What is up, fellow Mafians? He looks like he is moving well from what I saw. When is JC's agent coming in to talk? All right, so he told me that 12 would work for him, but then I also told him that say that he feels better about coming in closer to 11 a.m., he's more than welcome to. So he may be coming in at 11, folks, but for sure by 12. I am talking to him right now over Instagram. Have no fear and tell your friends. Maybe he can give us a nice little piece of information of what is happening at camp today. Yeah, I'm going to go on ahead. I'm going to refresh the screen here. And so far, we just have Big Baller Bean is celebrating it. Oh, It's Brandon Bean's birthday today as well, folks. Let's spam happy birthday in the chat for Big Baller Bean. Big Baller Bean is 49 years old, folks. Let's lock it in. Let's spam happy birthday in the chat for Bean. Will Kincaid have 100 plus targets this year? 150. I mean, dude, I hope so, right? Because he has a lot to prove, especially from last year. I hear CB3 is going to be Trey. CB3 is still going to be Taron Johnson out of the slot, but he will be the first guy on the depth chart if, for example, Benford or Max Harrison is going to be hurt. You have a long morning, kind sir. Always, man. All of these streams are about 3 hours, and then afterwards, I need to hop back outside and continue to pack up my house as I am moving into a house, baby. Look at that. Bean has duplicated his defensive tackle 6 times, run stopping ability with pass rush specialty. Jay Anthony has come in. I meant CB2 is going to be Trey. Just what I have heard. I mean, hey, what can you do? Happy birthday, Brandon. Happy birthday, Brandon. Happy birthday, Brandon Bean. Big Baller Bean, man, in the building. Hopefully he sees some good things. And no injuries out on the field today, folks. I can tell you that much. 538 of you in here, guys, rocking with me right now. 222 of you are watching on YouTube. And I'll tell you what we need right now, folks, is us to get well above 200 like button smash. We have 146 likes right now where it stands. We need each and every single one of you to hit that thumbs up sign. I am consolidating all of the information and news that comes out of the practice field today at St. John Fisher. So that way you guys do not need to play catch up at the end of the day. I am dead set on keeping you entertained all day long, informed all day long. And all you need to do to help me out is just take that millisecond and hit that thumbs up sign so we can continue to learn what is happening. So far, we have had an injury update, folks. We have added Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams out on the sideline. And then we also ultimately ended up seeing that Dorian Williams was in a walking boot. So that's that sucks. So whether or not that means that he's probably going to be on the injury report going into week 2, week 3, something to keep an eye out on. That sucks, especially since linebacker depth was a big concern for us going into the season. Sounds like it's going to have to be Shaq Thompson, who is the next man up, especially if he is out the first couple of games. I am very late to the party. What have I missed? Lucas, we heard from special teams coordinator. We have heard from an updated injury report. It is much of the same with the additions of Bernard and also Dorian Williams. And we have Epinesa is back out on the field. Have Josh over there, day 4 handshakes. Cool. Spencer Brown, Dawson Knox, and Laviska Shenault all on the side working with trainers. That is good. That is good, man. We had Dawson Knox on the sideline. So is Laviska Shenault and Spencer Brown. Yeah, just make sure those guys are all rested up and we're good here. I did Arlie. Look at that. Matt C is in the chat. Here we go again with the linebacker injuries. I don't get it, man. Dude, it sucks. It sucks. But so one common misconception is many people think that this is only a Buffalo Bills problem. I can assure you every single team in the NFL while they're going through training camp has an injury report just as long as ours. I hate when people get a new coach. McDermott has made this a winning team, so save that coaching change. Shane, he is a McDermott believer. Man, I appreciate that. Here we go again with the linebacker injuries. I think it's just the guys being sore from not doing anything all summer. Look, I am fine treating it with caution because God forbid some of these injuries could turn into something more significant. We don't want that. Mike Green and King Jamie urged me into joining the Discord, so I did. And if I'm on the Discord, then I feel like I need to do my part. Look at that, man. Look at that. Believe in Buffalo Joe. Believe in him. Look, man, we heard a lot of really positive things from Bobby Babich just 2 days ago about Buffalo Joe. And he thinks that he could be a defensive contributor. Matt Milano looks fresh and confident. Just stay healthy, for the love of God, man. Hard Knocks, hard at work. And the first episode starts in Tuesday, August 5th. Stay tuned for that. Believe in Buffalo Joe. The drama off This CH injuries are 90% of the sport every single time. We have Mike Green and King Jamie urged me into joining the Discord. I love that. Guys, 549 of you rocking with me right now. 220 of you are on this YouTube stream right now. Do me a favor right now and roll call in the chat. Say that you've already done it. That's completely fine. You don't need to, but feel like you want to. Once again, say what you want. Sound off and let me know where you are tuning in from, folks. How far does Bills Mafia truly extend? And hit that thumbs up sign. We have 158 like buttons hit. Let's pump this up to 200. Again, guys, we are welcoming on James Cook's agent here. I would say in about 45 minutes. He said 12 o'clock. We'll see if he comes in earlier. However, be on the lookout. We have James Cook's agent going to be in here momentarily. Where I'm sorry, but I do need to understand what happened in the negotiations with Shamar Stewart. I feel like that's what we got to do. Mulatto made the defensive play of the Chiefs' AFC Championship game. Sack on third down. Big year coming for Matt Milano. I am in my office with Dan in the background. Jax 109 is working on a Sunday. I appreciate that work ethic. I'm glad that I'm able to keep you entertained today. We have Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Los Angeles is in the chat. Oswego. We have Vegas. Go Chiefs is in the chat. I can't believe that came out of my mouth. In my office, we have the Bahamas in the chat. John Johnson, what is going on? Folks, do not be shy. I am talking to all of the lurkers in the chat. If you are lurking, please introduce yourself in the community, and let's lock in here. Denver, Co. Go Bills. Martin Christ, what's going on, my friend? Hope all is well. Eric is on his couch rocking with me right now, man. I appreciate that. Chris Hooper 4. I doubt that Knox does different stuff for the offense than Kincaid. We have Allentown, Buffalo. What is up, guys? Keep on keeping on with this roll call. I want to know where everyone's tuning in. And hit that like button. 234 of you are in the chat, folks. That is right. James Cook's agent will be joining us here, I would say, in about 45 minutes. He said 12 initially. We will see what his schedule looks like, but we will be hearing from the agent here momentarily. Hey, Dan, what is good? Dan, Green Bay throwback helmet looks amazing. Lynn, damn, I'm sorry, I don't like it. Deion Walker is massive. That's what somebody says. He is massive. So I want to say, I've probably seen this a million times, verbatim. Yes, he is massive. I am high on Deion Walker, but not this year. I think he's going to be a healthy scratch for the most part. But let's see his development. Let's see what his development looks like. Gloversville, New York. Shane, I told you my sister-in-law is from there. As a matter of fact, maybe you know them. Maybe you know the Gargiulios. If that is the case, that is my sister-in-law. Wonderful. Lackawanna, New York, or better known as Wackawanna, sitting at work. Milano will go crazy this year, especially since we restructured his deal. It's just our luck. Yeah, like we basically gave him an ultimatum, right? Basically being like, look, man, we're going to shave off a year so that way you can prove to the NFL that you still got it and you can get one last bag. So let's see. Let's see how that plays out. Gloversville, New York. What the insider Adam Schefter insider interview with James Cook's agent is going on here. So I'm going to tell you what. So he's actually coming on to my show. So we are going to be having a conversation with him on this show. It's not reacting to Adam Schefter's interview. It's going to be the interview on this show, baby. We are going to be asking him some questions. I have some burning questions for the guy, specifically regarding the Shamar Stewart situation in Cincinnati. And then, of course, maybe we can get some tidbits on how this contract with James Cook potentially might go. So it's not reacting to Adam Schefter. He's going to be on this show here in hopefully about 45 minutes. Knox is way overpaid for a backup tight end. Waste of cap space. We have Orion on my way back home from the first 3 days of training camp. Got a 6-hour drive back to Pennsylvania. Great show, Dan. Listen, man, shout out to Orion, man. I am glad that I am able to at least keep you entertained on a long-ass drive like that. That sounds terrible, but I am glad that I'm able to keep you entertained, man. Shout out to Orion, man. Safe travels back to PA. Brandon Bean watching QB1 during practice. Happy birthday, Brandon Bean. All right, we're seeing a lot of this. And we have a rep from Deion Walker. He has been a name that gets a lot of people excited. Bernard and your boy Curtis have hammies already, bro. I am so mad. Spaghetti Steve is very upset with the injury report already. So I got to tell you, man, it's something that every single NFL team deals with, is what it is, right? We play more 12-man than most. He's not back up. That's a hell of an interview to get, bro. Yeah, dude, he's a super cool guy, man. He is a super cool guy. I actually lucked out because I met Shamar Stewart at the Senior Bowl, and then I was able to get Shamar Stewart's dad onto this show about 3 months ago asking about the contract situation. And James Cook's agent just so happened to be Shamar Stewart's agent as well, who represented Shamar Stewart's father. That's how I made the connection. And then I just sent him over a DM 2 days ago. And I was like, hey, bro, you want to come on and talk Shamar Stewart and James Cook? And he said, cool. So that sounds great. Adam Schefter is about to react to your content. So he is right now, or he's about to react to it once I talk to his agent, because that's going to be pretty solid. Dan, requested question from JC agent. How much has JC's brother has been a factor in these negotiations? Got you. I will certainly do that. More of a blocking tight end. And what do we need more of now than ever? Run the damn ball. I'm trying not to overreact with these injuries. It's tough, Shane. It's tough. Like it's very frustrating, especially in rooms that have been the Achilles heel of Buffalo in the past. It sucks, man. It really does. More of a blocking tight end. And what do we do more now than ever? Run the damn ball. I'm trying not to overreact. Hawes will have more snaps than Knox this year. Best blocking tight end in college last year. Great camp so far and played a lot of first team snaps. Get used to the names, folks. Let's talk about that. And by the way, Orion, I really hope you're not texting and driving, my friend. We are looking to make sure you are safe. All right. Stay safe out on the road. It's that, or like maybe I could imagine your wife is driving or something like that. But regardless, my friend, I totally agree with you. Put Milano in bubble wrap. Right now, he is the only healthy starting linebacker out there. And that's it. And that's interesting. Cole's come in saying who is injured. We have Dorian Williams in a boot. Okay. And then yet again, we have another injury, folks. Rookie wide receiver Caden Prather walked off into the injury tent. That blows. I'm assuming that 7-on-7s have begun. Caden Prather in injury tent, walked off field. Less than ideal. A lot of people were high on seeing what he could bring to the table. Spectre making a splash. All right, folks. What do we say? It's funny because maybe Balin Spectre must have felt the energy from this stream just a couple of minutes ago when I said he's a bum. All right. He said, screw you, Dan Mitchell. Watch this. He says, Balin Spectre making a splash. Josh Allen went high to Terrell Shavers over the middle. Shaq Thompson got a hand on it, and Spectre slid in to make a nice interception. Now healthy, Spectre is trending up. I hate to be reverted back to a hater in less than 3 seconds, but that sounds like a Shaq Thompson play to me. Folks. Let's get excited. Shaq Thompson's an unk, but he still got it. Bills rookie wide receiver Caden Prather just walked into the trainer's tent. Zach Davidson has been getting a load of run with first-team offense with Dawson Knox sidelined. The hope is likely to get Davidson back on the practice squad, but these are meaningful reps. Zach Davidson, ladies and gents, look, he is a tight end that, in my opinion, is very similar to what Dalton Kincaid brings to the table. He's not like a Dawson Knox. And say that would guess. So we're going to go with 3 tight ends this year on the 53-man roster, and it doesn't make sense to have 2 of the 3 tight ends be a Dalton Kincaid type of tight end that are out there as an offensive weapon. It's much better to have 2 tight ends that are predominantly blockers. Think of Dawson Knox and think of Jackson Hawes. Than it is to have a 3 tight end room with 2 predominant pass-catching weapons that struggle a bit more in the blocking side of things. So I am not going to get my hopes up that Zach Davidson is going to make the team, but it is something to note that he has been getting quite a few reps. Hopefully he could see. Brandon Bean from Mike Bunt in here. Mike Bunt. I want to say he's a train wreck sports guy. Gotta love that. Josh Allen to Dalton Kincaid for a touchdown, 7-on-7s. Ladies and gents. Ladies and gents, get excited. Get excited, ladies and gentlemen. Brandon Codrington in with the first team defense during 7-on-7s. He is hoping to make the team as a returner, but if he can show ability at corner, that will help his chances. Versatility plays. That's true. No. That is true, folks. That's why I said leading up into training camp that between Chenault and Codrington, it was going to be determined who brought more to the table at their respective true position. Say that Codrington is a better cornerback than Chenault is a wide receiver, then I think Codrington is going to get the nod. But it helps Codrington because Chenault has been on the sideline for the first 4 practices already. So that gives him a head start. We have Caden Prather's injury. It looks like a leg injury. He now has a wrap on his left leg. Hopefully it is nothing serious. Prather now out on the tent. Caden Prather is out. Those are the updates. 7-on-7s are well underway, folks. Guys, smash that like button. 247 of you are in the chat right now. We need 247 thumbs up signs. I'm consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of camp, almost to mimic that you were there in person. I want each and every single one of you to be informed today as we lock in what is happening at practice. Sebastian Zemo, are the NFL channel reporters at camp to watch on broadcast? I do not know, my friend. Dan, do you think James Cook will crack the top 5 running backs this season? I do. What's been happening? Midnight has come in, man. We have heard from special teams coordinator, a couple of updates on the injury side of things, and now 7-on-7s are well underway. We had Josh Allen just threw a touchdown to Dalton Kincaid, wide open on a crosser over the middle. That is the latest update that we have seen. Are the 2 guys suspended still at practice? Yes, and they are getting reps quite regularly. And their suspension starts on week 1. That's when they need to leave the facility, not practice with the team. That's kind of where it is. Dan, someone posted this link right in the stadium wall forums. So you're talking about, this link right here. So my X list link, interesting. I love to see it. Yes, they can still practice. Someone posted the link, or what link? So are we talking about, DF Forever? I would love that. Robert A. Wilson, Bills need to move on from Daquan Jones as soon as possible because going into the season with Jones and Oliver in at tackles will be shaky. So the thing is, we really don't have a solidified replacement for Daquan Jones. So to play 1 tech. Yes, I've heard that TJ Sanders can technically play 1 tech, and so can Dwayne Carter. I still think that they're a bit not of the ideal size. And I don't think that we have someone that could take over Daquan Jones' responsibility that I trust. Maybe the rookie and Deion Walker, but I still think that he needs a bit development. So I think that we need 1 more year out of Jones, and luckily this is his final year on contract. So I just I don't trust his replacement yet, but we will see. No, the YouTube. Somebody posted this on the forum. What's the stadium wall forums? Man? I must be an unk. I don't understand it. Dan, miss the days when you would deck Bob in the face out of excitement. Don't worry, AK Cash. It's coming because the Buffalo Bill season is right around the corner. Okay, my friend, you want that, dude? You want that? It's going to keep happening, man. It's going to keep happening. Have no fear. So the Bob punches are going to be happening. I will hit you up on Discord. I'm going to have to figure out what this all entails. Who are you picking for a 2-quarterback fantasy league, full PPR, Love or Fields? Surprisingly enough, I'm probably going to have to go with Justin Fields because of his running capabilities, and he has the best offensive line he's ever had. Every day of camp since struggling day one, Keon Coleman has been a consistent option for Josh Allen in the passing game. As we see Keon Coleman wide open for 20-plus yard connection near the sideline early in team drills, ladies and gentlemen. He struggled day one. He's back, folks. He is back. He is back. And I'm not going to lie, we were nervous about him at first. This right here, per Mike Bunce, letting us know what's going on. A nice long connection from Josh Allen to Keon Coleman, who is working against Trey White to start 11-on-11 action. Folks, we are talking about some 11-on-11 action right now. We are not playing games out on the field, folks. We are not playing games. We started very briefly on 7-on-7s and are already on 11-on-11s. Keon Coleman continues to shine, corner out. Coleman gains separation. Folks, has somebody been working on their route running? Has somebody been working on their route running? I think that's the question. Jason, and do you think most of James Cook's success is because of the offensive line he's behind? We see Ray Davis and Ty Johnson both also do big things last year too. Still very talented for sure, but wonder what your thought is. Let me see. So I think it's a 50-50 kind of thing. Like his vision is there. His vision is there. And sometimes while our offensive line is crazy at being able to open up running lanes, that doesn't happen each and every single rep. Cook's vision right behind the line, his patience is very good. I'd argue it's almost elite. So it's 50-50. It definitely helps. So do I think that he would be putting up the exact same production so the worst offensive line right in the league? No. But I do think he probably would be putting up pretty similar stuff if he was like a bell cow back at a mid-tier offensive line. It kind of goes half and half. Dan, what is your stat prediction on Coleman this year? 750 yards, 6 touchdowns. That is what I'm thinking. Mike White is still looking good. If the season started tomorrow, White is my CB2. Mitch Trubisky finds Jalen Virgil on an out-breaking route toward the sidelines. Folks, big stuff right there. Mitchie Biscuits, he's fighting for his job right now. Like I said, Mike White continue. Mike White continues his strong camp with the twos on Sunday. Right over the middle, wide receiver Christian Wilkerson up high where Wilkerson could go get it. Excuse me, I'm burping right on stream. Sincerest apologies. Guys, 278 of you are on YouTube right now. I am consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of camp so each and every single one of you can remain informed. If you are vibing with this, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up sign. It's the easiest way to show love around here. And introduce yourself in the chat as well. Introduce yourself in the chat right now, folks. Let me know where you are tuning in from. We are in. Ty Johnson, folks, with an explosive run. 25 yards right down the middle. You love to see it. Bernard not practicing Sunday with a hamstring injury. Here is on the sideline talking with Taron Johnson. Also not practicing on Sunday. Folks, we are getting reports deep into camp right now. Hit that thumbs up sign, roll call in the chat. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Is anybody else absolutely dying to watch a real game? My goodness, I hate March through August. So do I, Bills Mafia Sports. So do we. But at least this is just teasing us a tad of what is happening. Teasing us at least. Guys, do me a favor. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I am curious to see how far Bills Mafia truly extends. I'd say, so the most obscure place that is tuned in is Singapore. We have our boy Singapore in the chat, and we can appreciate that. Let me know where we are tuning in from. What is up, PA? What's going on? Can anyone join the Bills Beat Dan, or is it a private page? It's a private page, but you can make it, right? So you can make it, as a matter of fact. So just go on X and just make your own Twitter list and just put all of the guys that you think should be featured right on this list, and it consolidates all this information for you. That's what it looks like. Damn, baby. Damn, 26 more likes until 200. Guys, go on ahead and lock in right now. What we're trying to do on this channel is make sure that we build the strongest live Bills fans community. If you can help me out and pull your weight, just do me a favor, take less than a second and hit that thumbs up sign. We should be anticipating James Cook's agent here shortly. Right, as a matter of fact, I sent him the StreamYard link. He has agreed to come live. And yes, we are going to be talking James Cook. We are going to be talking Shamar Stewart, amongst other conversations. So hit that thumbs up sign, folks. Tell some friends. Let's lock this in. Watching from West African Ghana, go Mafia. What is up, Nick? How you doing, bro? Orchard Park, New York. He is sick. Go Bills from Grand Island, New York. Watching from Montreal, Canada. Tap that like button, guys. We're having a good time. So come on, get him more thumbs up. Watching from Lebanon, go Bills. What is, dude, listen, man, Bills Mafia is all over the place, and I love it. Davis, a more physical runner, a better pass blocker and pass catcher. On those 4-1, we can put him back with 17. What is James Cook's agent name? Zach Hiller. Zach Hiller, man. He's the CEO of Loyalty Above All Sports and Entertainment. And fun fact, he's also the agent of Shamar Stewart, who had that situation with Cincinnati. He ultimately ended up signing it. Let's lock it there. We can get there, guys. Guys, listen, 250 like buttons smashed. Let's lock it in. So again, guys, Zach should be coming in. So he agreed to noon, but I did ask him if he wants to join a bit sooner. I'm hoping it's closer to 11, but stick around. We have a lot to unpack at practice anyway. CB, okay, Cook made a nice catch, toe tap on the sideline, had to reach up, good hands too. Good hands too, baby. Josh Allen has been sharp the past few practices, and this is per Alex Brasky. A few interceptions, but just now, he was pressured and forced left, scrambled, and kept his eyes downfield to find James Cook, who made a great catch near the sidelines. Speak of the devil, James Cook, man, he's out there absolutely dominating on the practice field. Nobody is surprised. Nobody is surprised whatsoever. This guy, he is out with a vengeance this season. Next play, Allen hits Cook. Allen hits Cook. Dorian Strong forced a fumble. Folks, that's big news. There is a big competition between Dorian Strong and also Dane Jackson. Who ends up winning that position battle? Max Harrison is in with the first teams on 11 on 11s. Folks, this is big stuff. Max Harrison in with the first team on 11 on 11s. Folks, how does he do? How does he do, man? Josh, test that, man. Yeah, Dan, and his speed is insane. He's great at getting it outside when the blocks don't give him a lane. For sure. Dude, back in Fort Lauderdale from Venezuela. Go Bills. I'm so glad you were able to lock on in, man. You're the man. Cook has a new contract to play for. Prepare for Cook's best season yet. James Cook has a chip on his shoulder this season. It would be hard to replicate his touchdown total from last year, but how many yards could we see him getting all scrimmage? 1,500. 1,500, I think, split between the ground and also into the pass game. I feel like we could be doing it. Rookie cornerback Dorian Strong with a forced fumble on Zach Davidson. So the forced fumble was from Zach, who is competing for, so I'd say a position. Punched it out. Having a nose for the football will increase his chances of making the roster and perhaps even being a contributor. Cook makes a nice catch, toe tap on the sideline. Had to reach up. Good hands too. Josh Allen has been sharp. All right, folks, listen, we are learning some things. We have Orion Ray here, man. He is a big Dorian Strong guy. Zach Davidson did not do himself any favors, especially for missing or fumbling that football, because he would need a near perfect training camp in order for him to make this team over Jackson Hawes. So that's less than ideal, but a great play from the young rookie corner. Is Taron Johnson practicing? Because I have not heard any big plays he has been making. It is Taron Johnson's birthday today, so a lot of us are thinking that he is just taking a vet rest day. Dorian Strong has had a very strong first week. of Bills camp, ladies and gents. Dorian Strong forced a fumble. This is all good. I hope Strong wins that competition. Dan, for how many years have we been talking about needing speed at the back end? Finally, we have it. It's nice, dude. It's nice. It's something that has been largely ignored. And here we are. 280 of you are in the chat right now, folks. Last time I checked, I'm going to go on ahead and double check this real fast. We currently have 202 like buttons hit, folks. We need to get this up to 275. Right now, I am consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of Bills camp, all right? And while I appreciate the live chat hearts, do me a favor, guys, and hit that thumbs up sign directly below this video. It could be below the live chat in case you got to dig for it, but we want to make sure that we grow this live chat community all season long. I am dead set on making sure that this channel has the largest collection and gathering of Bills fans on the internet. So do me a favor, hit that thumbs up sign, and let's get in and let's rock into business, man. We have Bills camp is well underway. Let's lock it in. Hurt in the car, call William Mattar. DF is absolutely correct on this one. I hope Strong wins that competition. Dan, for how many years have we been talking about needing speed at the back end? It is final. We have East Hartford, Connecticut. Go Bills, baby. 2026 Super Bowl champs. 844-2020. Look at that. Look at that, folks. We already know. Dan made my laundry go faster. Use your voodoo magic. Hey, man, stick around. Stick around, dude. We're learning from camp right now. And we're also going to be welcoming on our good friend, Zach Hiller. Loyalty above all, sports and entertainment. He represents James Cook. Love watching Aaron Cromer. He is a very good teacher and technician. He's one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL. Give him his flowers because he damn well deserves it. I promise you that, folks. I promise you that. Dorian Strong, dare I say, Christian Benford 2.0 is in the building. Dorian Strong. Somebody saying Christian Benford 2.0. That's a hot take. That's a hot take. Folks, listen, I am going to use the restroom real fast. So while I am gone, do me a favor, guys. Roll call in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and let's get this like button up to 275. I know we can do it. I will be right back. baby. We back, ladies and gentlemen. We back, ladies and gentlemen. I just had to grab myself some electrolytes real fast. I was starting to get a little dizzy out here. We can't be having that, man. Stay hydrated out there, boys. Stay hydrated. All right, so no updates right now. I'm curious, guys. Roll call in the chat right now. Let's talk a little business. 670 of you in the chat, 243 of you rocking with me right now. I am consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of training camp. Let's have a conversation today, folks. So far, all right, so some standouts thus far, man. So far, we have Josh Allen found Keon Coleman wide open for 20-plus yards. A nice long connection from Josh Allen to Keon Coleman, who was working against Trey White on 11-on-11s. Mitch Trubisky finds Jalen Virgil on an outbreaking route toward the sidelines. Ty Johnson with an explosive run, 25-plus yards. We had Josh Allen has been sharp. He connected with James Cook down the sideline. Dorian Strong forced a fumble. Max Harrison running with the ones in 11-on-11s, folks. We are going insane. So nobody is going to roll call. No one's roll call, man. Dude, listen, nice try, FBI. Georgia is trash. Go Irish. Michael Lynch has come in. There he is. There he is. Dan, will you be live later after the stream or no? Will there be an AFC East roundtable stream? Yeah. So we have the AFC East roundtable on Wednesdays. We are not going to be live today, but no, I think this is going to be my only stream of the day. Dan, your ads do not work. Blacked out screen every time. I have to close the stream out and pop back in. Seems like it's only for you this happens to. That's weird, man. That's weird. Maybe you might have like an ad blocker or something like that on your browser. I'm not particularly sure. Sorry about that, man. Guys, let me know if anybody else is dealing with that. Christian, so sorry that is happening. Don't sleep on Mr. Third Down, TJ. Oh, my God. Minnesota's in the chat. Philly checking in. Philly is in here. Man, let's talk. Dad, why is CD and the most delusional person on the planet? It's all an act. It's all an act. Anything wide receiver doesn't matter without pads. So I'd say more so that with the offensive line and defensive line, but I do believe that you should be okay. We have Dorian Strong up, dare I say. Oh, all right, guys, we have had a couple of minutes since we have had an update out of camp for the past couple of seconds, but no issues. I had that problem with ads in the beginning. Then I refreshed. It was fine afterwards. Ads are fine. That's happening to me too with ads. Interesting. I have premium, so no ads for me. Knock Andrew. He's out here flexing on all of us. He's saying, you know what, dude? I have premium. It is not an issue. Folks, let's go ahead and get that like button up right now. 257 of you are currently rocking with me. We have 215 thumbs up signs. This is the easiest way to show love on the channel. We want to make sure everybody stays informed at Buffalo Bills camp. All right. So whether or not that you are outside doing yard work, you're sitting by the pool, you're enjoying your Sunday, a lazy day around the house, treat me like a radio station. So that way you're not having to dig through the internet later, find all the information, piece it together. I'm trying to help you learn everything that's happening the second that it happens out on the field. So do me a favor, guys, hit that thumbs up if you are appreciating all of this. Let's talk about that. Dan, I'm going through settings to confirm no issues on our side. It could be a YouTube thing. Dwayne, I definitely appreciate you looking into this for me. Dan, remember when I called into the show a couple of weeks ago and said that I think Dorian Strong is going to be good? Eric, I did. Dude, hot take from Dorian, man. Hot take from Dorian Strong. Let's tap back in with practice, see if anything else is happening. Greg Rousseau showing his run stuffing ability. This time he stands up James Cook for a short gain. Again, guys, no pads, okay? But quality update. Ryan Vandemark has been running with the ones today at right tackle. It's obviously because of Spencer Brown having back issues, but something to look for. May put Tylen Grable at risk. Have offensive line coach Cromer deserves all the credit in the world. I agree. All right, guys. So we have a Gregory Rousseau play on James Cook, his run stuffing ability. Once again, he's a quality player. He always has been. It's definitely a YouTube thing. Who is cooking today? Sounds like Josh Allen once again. Shout out to Dorian Strong, young corner. He forced a fumble, which is ideal. What has happened? I just woke up. Brody, so this morning we heard from special teams coordinator, and then afterwards a couple of plays here and there that have been standing out. And then Terrell Bernard and Dorian Williams have been added to the injury report. Unfortunately, Dorian Williams has a boot. So we'll see how long that goes. And I do want to say that Dwayne pointed out that that's typically 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully that's not the case, but it does trend. It's definitely a YouTube thing. Thanks for the feedback. I'll try things on my side. Dan, it's YouTube being stupid. Your settings are completely fine. Dan, and do you know the Bills creator, Bills Bunker? I met him at Mafia Con, and I was asked who will be at the Breakout Player of the Year. I said Keon Coleman. Fun fact, Matthew, he is actually going to be a part of the Bills Roundtable this year. Me, him, Zbot, and Kevin Masari are going to be launching the Bills Roundtable here next week, actually, next Monday, August 4th. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Yes, I do know Bills Bunker well. Josh Gallen crosser to Dalton Kincaid for a sizable gain. Connection remains on point between these two. Joe Andreessen trailing in coverage per Alex Brasky. Guys, so we can find two things from this. And number one is it sounds like that this connection with Dalton Kincaid is very important, for Josh Allen to reestablish. And then number two, it sounds like this offense is doing whatever it possibly can to make sure that they establish a downfield game. Last year, we were efficient, but we just didn't have the personnel to efficiently stretch the field. And we've been seeing a lot of updates about deep crossers from Keon, from Dalton Kincaid, from Palmer, from Elijah Moore. I love to see this. I really don't think anybody's upset about it. No, this year. Hi, Dan. I just joined back. What's going on, Matthew? Didn't we draft a Dorian CB last year as well? Maybe? So we drafted Dorian Williams. That's exactly who you're thinking about. Good morning, Dan. DeMarcus, what up, dude? Mad Bros Gaming. And he's been a member for 7 months. Ladies and gents, Keon Coleman is going to be a big factor this year. I hope so, man. I hope so. I really hope so. That guy stunk, somebody said. Free athlete always in the wrong place. What can you do? Some more Cromer working with the offensive line. You have a Josh Allen crosser to Dalton Kincaid, folks. Greg Rousseau showing his run stuffing ability. It sounds like we're getting all of these solid little updates, folks. I am looking forward to it. Keon Coleman is going to be a big factor this year. He certainly is. Drew, freak athlete, always in the wrong place. All these people are getting injured without pads. I wonder how it's going to be with pads. It's non-contact injuries and soft tissues, surprisingly enough. I think you almost see more injuries, especially when it comes to training camp, when these pads aren't on. It's tough to be able to decipher what speed you should be going at when you don't have that back-end thought of protection. So hopefully nothing is worse than that. Question, is it possible for Allen to win back-to-back MVPs? Of course it is. However, so the only thing I'm looking for is us finally getting over the hump and finally raising a damn Lombardi. Josh was bad at everything over 11 yards, according to analytics, and intermediate and downfield. He regularly struggled. So that sucks, especially when it comes into the struggle bus, when it came into stretching the field. Maybe it had to do with the menu, right? Like maybe it had to do with the personnel that were on board. Now that we have, of course, Moore and Josh Palmer, that's probably going to open up some more opportunities for Kincaid, for Keon Coleman. Let's just hope that that improves. Let's just hope that that improves, because we all know that the Buffalo Bills' identity last year was all about the short game and hoping that wide receivers could create yards after the catch. Who is not practicing today? Same players since the beginning of camp, and then add Dorian Williams, who is currently on the sideline with a boot, and then also Terrell Bernard with a hamstring injury. So that's something to sort of look at, excuse me. We have Jamarcus Ingram with a terrific interception. Look at that. Road tight end Zach Davidson down the seam. Looked like he was behind a step for a touchdown, but used his length to high point the ball just as it got there. Mitch Trubisky was the QB. He's not doing himself any favors for Mike White potentially taking his job. I can tell you that much, folks. I really can. I think we only have one bad injury, and that is our linebacker in Dorian Williams. Watkins Glen, New York. Go Bills. Big Bills fan from Baltimore. So the natives are having irrational thoughts regarding their projected dominance over the Buffalo Bills. Robert Lewis, man, he's saying that Baltimore Ravens fans are already thinking week 1 is in the bag. I feel like we got to talk to him about it. I really do. I really like Jamarcus Ingram. I mean, hey, what can we do? Who will show out more in a fantasy perspective? May, Fields, or Tua? Give me Fields on that one. Does anybody else remember how bad Singletary was? Yikes. Does Ulofoshio get any run at all? It's going to be tough for him to make the team right now. Say that you were to ask me. Say that you were to ask me. I think it's going to be tough. Cheetos is saying, bro, I am subscribed. Why couldn't I comment? I don't know, bro. I have no idea, but now I can see it. So it sounds like problem is solved. I've started to dislike Ravens fans more than Jets and Dolphins fans. It happens, right? Like when you have two teams in the AFC that regularly compete, it's just how it is. We have Ingram just now with one of the better plays of the day. Mike White looking towards Zach Davidson up the seam, seemed open for the touchdown, but Ingram stepped in front last second and made the interception in the end zone, folks. Had Ingram picked off Josh Allen on a ball intended for Zach Davidson. Good morning from Ingram. I thought that I heard that it was Trubisky. It was Trubisky. So with the Bills outlet, if you are watching that, it was not Allen. It was Mitch Trubisky. Mike White is my guy. I have started to dislike Ravens fans. That's what we're getting. 270 of you are in the chat right now, folks. Let's go on ahead and run that like button up. Let's run that like button up to about, 300. Let's get up to 350 like buttons, folks. We should be welcoming on James Cook's agent, Zach Hiller, here momentarily. He agreed to noon EST. I did end up sending him a note that he is more than welcome to hop on a bit earlier. Zach, if you are watching, you're more than likely to hop in right now so we can dive into some of these burning questions. I think that would be ideal. Dan, it's set to 1 minute after they subscribe that they can post comments. It's been like this for months to avoid server errors as suggested in pro YouTube settings. Yeah, man, you and I are on the same page right there. I always have the subscribers only because say that I don't, then what you'll typically see are those bots that try to say, watch NFL football right here, and they spam links. For some reason, bots don't do that when you have that setting on. Has anyone hear how Derek Forrest is doing? He's been a ghost. He has been a ghost. So I'm sure, say that I were to like dig and try and find something on him. I'm sure there's something, but no, not a word. Keon makes a fade catch from Josh over Strong. Keon grab. Okay, let's do this again. Keon makes a fade catch from Josh over Strong. Keon grabs Strong off the snap on the back of his shoulder pads. Strong responded by grabbing Keon. Both guys were double-fisted full of jerseys. Keon released at just the right moment to make a catch. A contested catch for our boy Keon Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. A contested catch is in the building. Dude, listen, his physicality is unmatched. His physicality is unmatched. Really like the camp rookies cornerback Dorian Strong is putting together, but Keon Coleman just beat him one-on-one on a fade. We all know Keon is the fade god, okay? That's what our good friend Joe Brady loved to run with that young man all last season. I do want to see him implement it a bit more right into the offense. Josh Allen has been intercepted 5 times in 2 days with a lot of throws being placed into traffic. Timing/connection with pass catchers have been a hair off. Nothing to be concerned with. I'd probably have to agree with him right here. 4 times in 2 days. Latest INT was thrown by Mitch Trubisky. That is correct. Guys, so when I hear that he's trying to test the odds and throw into heavy traffic, he's trying to get that chemistry, especially with the new guys. He's trying to get Elijah Moore locked in. He's trying to get Palmer locked in. This is the time for experimentation. I am fine with Josh Allen testing the boundaries, figuring out what works. There's nothing to be upset about there at all. What is up, Dan the Man? More Oklahoma here. Ash and Friends is in the chat. Let's lock in. Does Coleman remind you of a young Hopkins? Physical, raw, still much to learn. Yeah. So I hope so. So I hope that that's the case. So he has similar skill set, or like his strengths are what Hopkins' strengths were. Will they ever get to what Hopkins' prime was? I'm not sure, but he's the same type of wide receiver. He has to win with physicality. He has to win with his length. He has to win right in that contested catch side of things. I think that that's something to look out for. 4 still isn't that bad in 2 days of camp. We have Cheetos and Netflix. Coleman and Hopkins have a very similar hand size, at least not 4 interceptions in 1 day. Look, we have to look at the positive things. Have to look at the positive. Keon Coleman is once again having a good day. This is the end of my day. This is the end of my day covering training camp. He salutes away. So does that mean that camp is over? Or does that mean that he's done covering it? He's taking a break? Hey, is what it is. I really appreciate your honest takes in the Bills this season. You're not delusional like TD. Hey, dude, listen, no problem at all, man. Listen, love TD, though. Love TDs. So the Ulafoshios and Richard Gurages and the Jamarcus Ingrams, it's like being as a stockpile of bodies he can grab off of the shelf if needed. It's depth, man. Depth is and will always be the key to each and every single one of these camps, man. I can promise you that. I think we should be fine at linebacker if Bernard is out for an extended period of time because we have Shaq and Buffalo Joe. True, but still not happy with all of this. Keon Coleman, once again, having a great day. That's how it works. Feel free to hop in. Okay, go Bills. I think we should be fine at linebacker if Bernard comes in. We have Orion. You make a great point about the interceptions. This offense is going to be different this year. He is feeling everything out, and I would rather this now than in game in September and beyond. I totally agree. What happened to Bernard? It sounds like that we're looking at a hamstring injury. So we're looking at a hamstring injury right now, folks. Let's just hope for the best. How is Trey doing in camp? White has been doing very well. Josh Allen to Keon Coleman again, working against Tre'Davious White. Coleman is all over the field per usual. Folks, it's Josh Allen saying, you know what, man? So, Keon, you are no longer a rookie. It's time for you to put your big boy pants on and start carrying this offense for me. You indeed love to see it. What happened to Bernard? It sounds like a hamstring injury. We have, hey, what's up? How is Caden Prather doing? Unfortunately, he was actually walked off of the field and went into the injury tent. We have not heard of anything or / an update of what has gotten worse, but it's something to look out for. Bernard is already listed day to day. Keon has been the most utilized receiver on the first team so far, and that's encouraging. That is wildly encouraging. I don't think anybody's upset about it. I really don't. Look at this, folks. All right, we have Keon, a couple of wins against Trey. Second goes for a short catch, having a solid day so far. Having a solid day per Thad Brown. We have Keon Coleman beats Trey White for 10-ish yards. We have Josh Allen to Keon Coleman working against Tre'Davious White. Coleman all over the field per usual. Guys, it sounds like the Keon Coleman day. It sounds like the Keon Coleman day at camp. Look, and rightfully so, I feel like all of us were nervous. Maybe not so much anymore. 954 to 210. Salute, bro. Miami fans. Love the news and work you always do for us. Oh, man, look at that. Look at that. It's time to make this next step and be a focal point. Keon's evolution is crucial. Dan, receivers, coaches want the ball to be thrown into a crowd early to determine which receivers will fight for the ball. And the INTs are meaningless in the scheme of things. I totally understand, and I totally agree with you. That's why. So you never see me trolling an opposing team's quarterback when he throws like 3 or 4 interceptions in 1 day like great at practice. This is the time to run experiments within the offense. Figure out what works, figure out the complexities of each and every single unique connection that the quarterback has with that specific wide receiver. That is super imperative. So never read too much into all of these interceptions. That's for damn sure. A bright moment from Keon Coleman working against Strong. We already saw that. We have Keon a couple of wins against Trey. Things are looking good today, boys. I'm feeling pretty damn good. I just got a Coleman jersey. I think he will take a step up. He was starting to look great before the wrist injury. He certainly was, man. Zero questions asked. Zero questions. No big splash plays today, but has had a good camp so far. Netflix. Orion, talk to me, man. Talk to me. Let's go. How is Landon Jackson on playing? So it's hard for me to look into any report on anybody on the defensive line because there's no pads on. But I haven't heard anything specific from Landon. Maybe a run stop, I think, yesterday, but like nothing that's really like standing out. Shoulder pads today, Robert. Maybe full pads tomorrow. From what I understand, it is full pads tomorrow. That was confirmed by Sal. So something to look for. I was watching highlights from last season, and Keon was making great catches. So I can't wait for year 2 of him. Dan, are you doing a 5:00 stream today? I am not. Like normally, I do not stream on Sundays during the off season. Like regular season, I do obviously because I do ultimately end up having so I have my live play-by-play reactions, but this is going to be my only stream of the day. And then I'll probably also drop a clip from this stream here momentarily. How's James Cook looking? He just made an incredible play, specifically on the receiving side of things, a toe tap catch down the sideline. Let's get excited. A bright moment from Keon Coleman working against Dorian Strong, beats him, and even with Strong grabbing jersey, Coleman leaps over Strong along sideline to make the grab on pass. Yet another one, ladies and gentlemen. Have 11 on 11s locked in. 750 of you in the chat right now, 262 of you watching on YouTube. Folks, do me a favor. What we need to do right now is hit that thumbs up sign. That's exactly what we need. 239 of you have hit that thumbs up sign. We need 300 like buttons smashed. We are expecting Zach Hiller, an agent of James Cook's, loyalty above all sports and entertainment, to be joining us here. I mean, hopefully soon. He said noon, but I'm trying to get him on earlier. Let's see what he can do. But no 5 a.m. stream, folks. No 5 a.m. stream. Landon Jackson is 6'7" and has had a 40.5-inch vertical at the combine. Guy is a freak. Dan, they want more. Dan, take a bow. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Hey, Dan, I'm pretty new to football fan here. How long does training camp last? So the public viewing of training camp lasts all the way up until a team's first preseason game, right? So I suppose you could still technically call it training camp once the preseason is over with, but like those practices aren't open to the public. So it's technically just practice, but something to think about. Dan, I would change your title to show the live interview with JC's agent. I am going to clip it and then I'm going to re-upload it as a separate video with that, man. Don't worry. I'm going to make an announcement on X, and then that way I will just release the clip of the interview as a separate video, because you know what? Really? So my live audience is going to get the luxury of being able to witness it live, because y'all tune in live, and I got to give you guys some treats every now and again. I have good hope Landon Jackson will be a beast. I feel like all of us are optimistic. He will, DJ. Don't be surprised if he is a huge contributor day one. Folks, let's lock in. A bright moment from Keon. So this is where we're at right now. Folks, in camp. So I think we still have a little bit left to learn. And just the downside right now and overall, like news that is coming out of camp, but I'm sure that will ramp up soon. 250 of you in the live chat right now, folks. Roll call in the chat. Let me know where you were tuning in from. I am talking about the lurkers, okay? There are 250 of you watching. I guarantee you that maybe 70 of you are participating in the live chat. I totally understand. It's fine to be shy. Maybe you're doing yard work or maybe you're busy doing something, but take 3 seconds and introduce yourself in the chat, folks. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I'm always curious to see how far Bills Mafia extends. Don't be shy. And even the lurkers, let me know where you are tuning in from, because we got some questions for you. As Jacob Spears has come in with a $5 donation. Thank you for covering training camp. I have to get ready for a family reunion. Go Bills. Spears, have a great time at your family reunion. Those are always a blast. I'm speaking from experience. Have a good one, my friend. Jake Ferguson got an extension. Saying that Dorian Williams and Bernard are out, is Joe getting more reps with the first team? He's got to be. He's got to be. I did hear that Balin Spector started off with the ones this morning. I haven't gotten an update on this yet, but we have heard from Bobby Babich that he wants to start looking at Joe Andreessen as no longer just a good story and not only just a special teams guy, but actually a contributor on the defensive side of the football. That's what's exciting. More likes than good. Perfect, baby. Perfect. Let's lock on in. 243 of you in here, guys. Let's take a look at the damn roll call. Don't be shy. I am talking to the lurkers. We have Williamsville, New York. We have See You Later, Dan. Go Bills. Oh, my God. We have Altoona, Iowa is in the chat. He died for our Zins. Oh, my God. Denver Airport, on my way to Ohio. Bills from Buffalo. W Zindan. Oh, my God. Tampa is in the chat. From Rochester, now living in South Florida. Forever a Bills fanatic. Go Bills. Space Coast. Go Bills. Dwayne Edwards. Hope all is well. Have Minnesota in the chat. Utica, New York. Queens, New York. Syracuse, New York. Josh Rivera is in the building. Do not be shy, guys. Let me know. We are consolidating each and every single piece of information that comes out of training camp today. So say that you're interested and you want to get a good understanding of what's happening at camp. Just do me a favor, guys. Stick around and treat me like a radio station. I'm going to be giving you all of the live updates as they come across my screen. All right, man. We have Shane Buchele hits Ty Johnson on a wheel for a pretty touchdown during team drills. We got some team drills going on right now. Things are getting exciting over at Bills camp, folks. Things are getting excited. Rochester, New York, baby. Atlanta, Georgia is in the building. Newark, New York. With you from San Diego. I watch a lot more than I comment. No issue at all, Matt. I'm just glad that you joined with us, man. No problem at all. San Diego's a beautiful part of town. We have New York. Dude, I changed my major to sports journalism. Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, man. We have Christopher reposted this stream. Christopher, thank you so much. Bills are America's team. They are indeed, aren't they? Lackawanna, baby. Wackawanna in the building. You have Indianapolis, Indiana. Dan, I remember your call-in shows back in 23. Dante, have no fear. I have brought back the Garage Beer Hotline. That is now a regular part of my shows. So have no fear. They are back. Hornell, New York is in the building. Elam playing with the first in Dallas. And he did intercept Dak yesterday as well. F Ravens fans, a bunch of crybabies. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So I think our running backs go crazy this year, and I could see Davis and Ty Johnson both getting 5 touchdowns. Look, what made our offense so effective was our ability to run the damn football. So let's make it happen. From Watkins Glen, New York. What about those helmets, though? Beautiful, but I just wish that we would have seen them a bit earlier than week 18, because I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing starters out there, are we? Tyler Bass misses a chip shot field goal, wide lefts. Tyler Bass misses a chip shot field goal, wide left. Breaks my heart, but I will say that this is the first miss I have seen from Tyler Bass so far in camp. So far in camp, I have seen this as a miss. A bright moment from Keon Coleman working against Dorian Strong. Beats him, and even Strong grabbing his jersey. So we have Bass missed an easy chip shot field goal, wide left. Fucking A, dude. Tyler Bass missed a chip shot. He did indeed. Hi, Dan from Attica, New York. Cheers to number 86, Dalton Kincaid. We have Lori Ann. She is the biggest Kincaid supporter in the world. I love it. I almost wondered if she is related to Dalton Kincaid, or maybe she's just a big fan. I don't know. But I have to ask the question. Dan, you know what's going to make me mad is if Elam becomes a top CB in Dallas. So I feel like I would root for him. Like, so he just didn't fit our scheme, right? But yeah, I suppose I could see that. We have Tennessee in the building. Pete, what's going on, brother? Hope all is well. Come on, T-Bass. I don't want to hear the words wide left ever again. It's wide right. But yeah, most definitely. I would not want to add wide left into, yet again, another phrase that haunts me forever. Hamlin spot. I'm not worried about Bass. Dude was great last year. Wasn't Dorian Strong's mom a bodybuilder or something? I didn't hear that, but that's dope if that's the case. And can I get a quick rundown of the last 30 minutes if I missed anything? So I was talking to owner at my job. So no problem, Jesse. So far we've seen a lot of 11 on 11s and 7 on 7s. It seems like the Bills offense is still really trying to establish that downfield game. With the Dalton Kincaid and Keon Coleman have been having very good days, standouts on the offensive side of the football. We did see Dorian Strong, our 6th round cornerback or 5th round. So let me know, boys, what it was. So I want to say it was a 5th round. He forced a fumble on Zach Davidson. We saw Ty Johnson get into the end zone. We saw James Cook make a play. And we're just seeing this offense continue to experiment and figure out ways to add additional wrinkles to what we have going on this year, which is pretty damn good. How long does Hard Knocks go for? First episode is August 5th, and I think it's 5 episodes typically, maybe 6. Rain just picked up a bit, but a rough stretch for Tyler Bass, who missed 3 straight kicks. All 3 appear to be within the... Okay, so that's less than ideal, folks. That's less than ideal. We have Tyler Bass out here struggling with some kicks. Through the rain, Bass was no good from 40, 43, 46, 51 yards. Good from 30, 33, 43, and 51. So that's something to consider. No relation to Dalton. I'm just his top fan. I love that, Lori. I love that. Elam is going to be great in Dallas. Question, do you think the undrafted rookie takes Hamlin's spot? I don't know. Because you know what? I haven't heard much from the safety room despite Rapp and Hamlin for positives. Bishop's been getting burned a lot and has had a couple of plays not go his way during camp. So that's the question. So will we be able to see it? Bass not kicking as the rain starts to come down. 33 games, 43 not good, 43 not good, 47 not good, 33 good, 45 good, 50 not good, and 50 good. So a wildly inconsistent day. Tyler Bass, wildly inconsistent. We can say that it has something to do with the weather, but we will see. There is 0 chance Elam is even a starter. That's right. It is wide right. No, man, listen, it's no problem. So wide left is just as bad. I can promise you that. I don't wish anything bad for Elam, but he will let down Dallas like he let us down. I hope not. Great point. And Elam just did not fit our defensive mentality in Buffalo and was always injured and didn't seem all there on the field. He showed flashes. I don't think he gets his first round value. And plus, like, he's going to a defense that, like, really on paper, like, would use him to his strengths. So he was predominantly a man guy. And Dallas runs a lot more man than Buffalo. It's mostly all zone right across the board. Like, most defenses are predominantly zone. Most of them are. But some teams run a bit more man. And I just have a pretty good feeling that Elam is going to perhaps have a better opportunity of living up to his ceiling right within a system over in Dallas. Cut Bass. Yeah, I don't know about that. We have Elam as a starter on the depth chart already. And exactly DF Elam. And So with Elam never let me down. He made big plays when he needed to. Sub to Dan. Midnight is come on in. Guys, listen. Say, for example, that y'all do want to subscribe. That's all well and good. Like, we're trying to build a community here. But, dude, look, all I'm asking is just hit that thumbs up sign. That's the most important because we want to build this live chat community to new heights. Like, we just crossed 44,000 subscribers. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. Thank you so much for that. So goal this year is 100,000 by the end of the season. I think it's somewhat achievable. So say, for example, you rock with the show, subscribe, and turn on bell notifications. Holy shit. It's raining a little bit at camp, folks. It's raining a little bit at camp. I think we can all agree there. Are we going to learn anything right now? But it is pouring at training camp as we speak. Something to look out for. Elam never let me down. Dan, will you hop on that midnight train? Always. I took the midnight train going anywhere. Dude, song, dude. An absolute ripper. It is typically my go-to for karaoke. Like, what's another song I do at karaoke? Creed. All right, listen. Some Creed on karaoke hits different. Last time I went up there and I said, maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Dude, grown men were crying. Grown men were crying in the audience. It was beautiful. That and Dick Down in Dallas is also a song that I typically like to do while I'm out in karaoke. Rochester rain is so on and off all weekend long. I never knew you loved that damn song. That and Creed. Creed is my go-to. He said, I know it. Listen, dude, listen. Like my go-to on karaoke is Creed. Maybe 6 feet ain't so far down. Damn, brother. Oh, dude. It's great because people are finally starting to appreciate the greatness of Creed. It was for a long time. Like when people try to spread propaganda that Nickelback wasn't good either. Who remembers when people would try to like spread that narrative that Nickelback sucked? Like, fuck you, dude. Like, come on. Stop lying to my face right now. That was key 90s, peak 2000s. Look at this photograph. Come on, man. It hits different. It hits different, man. We already know it. Midnight is in the building. Let's get this stream to 260 likes. Or 270 likes. Creed is the official powerlifting music. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Great game versus the Lions. Let's get this stream to 206 likes. How about a little Alter Bridge, too? Shout out to Alter Bridge as well, right? All right. Whatever happened to Alter Bridge? Bills expected to waive Frank Gore Jr. Is that new? Frank Gore Jr. to be waived? He's probably going to be a practice squad guy. He's probably going to be a practice squad guy. I don't think that's, something that's too much of a shock. Bills rain starting to fall pretty hard at day 4 on Bills camp. It seems like the boys are still out there doing their thing, though. And that's what we need. Get some damn rain reps out on the field, folks. That's what we need. That is what we need. Can you take me higher? Dude, listen, man. I am so glad to see that there is so much Creed love in the chat. Stop lying to us and start admitting that Creed carried the early 2000s. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will spread Creed propaganda as long as I live. They tried to force that on everyone, I swear to God. Everyone tried to force that Nickelback sucked. How dare you? How dare you lie to the people? All right? I still crank in my truck once every other day. I'm through with standing in line for autographs. I never get in. Dude, I totally butchered the lyrics right there. Rockstar, come on, baby. It runs through my veins, man. Say, for example, I wouldn't get this stream clipped from the YouTube monetization gods. We'd be rocking to some Creed right damn now. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We have Orion. I will be to that game as well this year. Netflix. Wish I got the 49ers game. All-timer for sure. 252 watching, 267 likes. Thank you, Bills Mafia. Yeah, the Alter Bridge was absolutely horrible live. I know. Nothing got it. I broke Dan. Sorry, guys. Damn hard. You're right, man. You got me off topic. Like now we're talking about who carried the early 2000s in the grunge era. That's a question. 12 Stones was a solid, underrated band. They were indeed. First NFL game is in 4 days. It is Lincoln Park. Yes, Lincoln Park, man. Kid Rock. Absolutely. Let's talk about this. Whenever I hear a Creed song, I think of the Paramount Plus commercial with Tua. Have to. That or the Super Bowl halftime performance. Nah, Creed was good. And back was pop garbage. Oh, no, bro. I will not allow any slander of Nickelback in this show. Dad, how can I watch camp here in Massachusetts? Rhonda, normally camp is not televised. So what I do is, I sort of like to act as a radio station to you to let you know exactly what is happening at camp based off of the hard work of our beat reporters that are there in person. And we ultimately end up reacting to everything that comes out. And I give you up-to-date updates on how all of this happens. And that's what it is. And that's what it is, man. I broke the chat, Dan. Will you ever forgive me? No, not at all, man. Slipknot and Korn are good, and the Nickelback sucks. I will not allow that in the chat. No indoor facility at SFJ. No, there is not. Dan, here is an update for your reel later. Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson extended 4-year, $52 million action. $1 million action. All right, so he just hit me up. He said, I can do it from my phone. I had to run out. All right, cool. He's going to be tuning in from the phone. Ladies and gentlemen. Cook's agent is currently watching this. Don't worry about it, man. So he just hit me up. He should be sort of hopping on right now, or should be hopping on here in just a couple of seconds. And let's start getting some conversations. I seen some things saying they asked Gabe Davis to come to camp to the 90-day. So I thought I heard something about Gabe Davis saying that he wanted to be a San Francisco 49er. I think that's a different question, but we'll see. We will see. And did you know that the Nickelback is Canadian? It is. I still rock Creed and Nickelback and the 80s hair bands at 48 years old. To heck with the naysayers. Absolutely, man. What do you think about that? Wrong route, Gabe Davis. That kills me. Get your screen set up, Dan. Prep. Oh, dude, I'm good. I'm good, man. Don't you worry about that. I am good, bro. Once he comes in, he's going to be locked in. He's going to be locked in, man. He's solid right there. Wrong route, Gabe Davis. Green Day is in the chat. Really dislike Gabe. You definitely like Lincoln Park. I just know it. You have to. You have to, folks. All right, man. We are refreshing the screen right now. Okay, we have Keon Coleman has been absolutely dominant today. It sounds like Ingram finally gets revenge, and here he goes. But guys, listen, we're going to have to welcome in a very special guest. Hands down, the busiest man on the face of the planet, CEO of Loyalty Above All Sports and Entertainment, Zach Hiller. What's going on, dude?
How's it going?
Man, so I'm living the dream. I'm trying to. You have definitely been the busiest guy I think that I've seen in quite some time. So locking down that deal for Shamar, and then yesterday I thought you said you had the fire department at your house. What's been going on, man?
Oh yeah. Nah, that was no big deal. But I thought you were talking about Ramel Keaton, who just got signed to the Titans yesterday. So,
Dude.
Traylon Burks went down with the shoulder, and immediately, you get the call, and you get your guy on a plane to Tennessee.
Dude, you know what? So I got to tell you what, I have been a big fan of your story, guys. Guys, in case you didn't know, so he ended up getting into the scene with this boutique firm based off of solving a social media issue for Dalvin Cook a couple of years ago when you were 24. Is that right, Zach, or were you a bit older?
Nah, I think I was 24. Yeah, 24. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, around.
Got
Yeah,
it.
think so.
So how exactly was that story, right, in general? So like you were just trying to like find a way in, like how did you get to the table in the first place? Was you just grinding out on DMs and like finally learned of his issue and you said, yeah, like
So I
go
had
ahead.
an internship. And that I got from like throwing parties in New York City, and then it
All
was an
right.
internship at a sports. It was an internship at a sports agency, and we had a meeting with Dalvin, and
Yeah.
again, it was just like kind of everything's timing and preparation, right? Luck equals when preparation meets opportunity. So obviously this is back in like 2016, and social media is not as prevalent as it is today. Like Instagram, I guess, was kind of big, and like Twitter, I guess, was like but it wasn't anything major. It wasn't like the whole world living on the internet like it is today. But again, I'm 24 at the time, so I'm pretty well versed in social media. So when we went up there for the Dalvin visit, I was just prepping myself to like learn about his social media because I just saw it as like a great marketing opportunity, which it is today, right? Like so many marketing opportunities from having a big platform on social media. So I had studied his pages, and there was two pages, one that was like Dalvin Cook on Twitter, and one that was like Dalvin Cook 4. The Dalvin Cook account had like 35,000 followers, and the Dalvin Cook 4 account had like 9,000. So, I just asked him, I was like, yo, why do you have two accounts? Which is yours? And he just goes off. He's like, the Dalvin 4, the Dalvin Cook, just, crazy stuff and sending crazy DMs. And like, I get hit up all the time by people that I know being like, yo, why did you just post that? Or like, yo, you told me to meet you somewhere. So obviously I'm just like, I just fire back like, yo, why don't you get it deleted? I'm like, why not? And also, I don't know. I'm in the Hamptons, so I don't know about bad service if it's cutting out whenever the screen goes black. But I'm like, yo, why don't you
It's
just
fine
get
for
it
now.
deleted? He's like, I've tried. He's like, I've tried. I went to the compliance office. I asked everybody, and nobody really knows what to do. So I just fired back like, yo, I got it. Don't worry. So we left the meeting. We jumped in the car, and I went on LinkedIn because obviously LinkedIn, another social media site. Again, I'm 24 at the time, so I'm pretty well versed in this stuff. More.
Oh. And so there you are. You're good.
Can you? Sorry, can
Yeah,
you hear
loud and
me?
clear. Yeah, loud and clear. You're good.
Yeah. All right. Is my camera off or something? I can't see myself now.
Yeah, we can see you, man. You're good.
All right, cool. No, I got a call and my phone's on do not disturb, but it went through. But yeah, I said, why don't you get it deleted? So again, I got in the car, I went on LinkedIn, social media site, typed in people who work at Twitter for like 40 minutes, connect. Finally someone hits me back, Mason Silver. We're still buddies today. Shout out Mason. And he's like, hey, do I know you? I'm like, no, but I saw you work at Twitter. He's like, yeah, well, how can I help you? I was like, how do I get an account deleted if it's impersonating somebody? He's like, I need the ID of the real person and I can probably take care of it. So I called Dalvin. I'm like, yo, send me a picture of your ID. Send me a picture of his ID. I sent it to Mason. Mason deleted the wrong account, moved and merged all the followers, like 10 minutes later. So Dalvin FaceTimes me with a big smile, just like, how'd you do that? And it was like, again, right? It's like, if you really care about something, you're going to figure it out. And I think right when then and there, it was like, this was pre-NIL. So Dalvin's, making millions of dollars for Florida State. And,
Yeah.
nobody, and nobody could stop for 10 minutes and figure this out. Like not one person that works for compliance, not one coach. Like, it just kind of
Yeah.
like he lost faith. He lost faith in the idea that like, you want somebody who's accountable. And, obviously it became bigger than that. And our relationship, grew, and like, he's literally my brother and my best friend. But yeah, you just need that opening and, take advantage of it.
So, hey, man, listen, we love the story for sure. And you know what? Like, we're seeing that same sense of loyalty, especially into this offseason, which has been super busy for you. We saw that Shamar Stewart signed, right? And like, we saw all the drama right between you and Duke Tobin and stuff like that, like him saying something, you responding, etc. But we saw that he ultimately ended up signing his contract for $500,000 more for him to accept that said language. I'm just kind of curious from your actual perspective. Like, we heard so many different conflicting reports. What exactly did that language entail? Like, we heard that it was exclusively the off-field issues. It was on-field too. Like, what exactly was that clause? And that was holding everything back.
So it cut out a little bit. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I think I got the gist of the question, but it cut out a little bit. Look,
Yeah. Like, we were just
the
curious about the clause in the
the
contract.
the clause in the Yeah. So again, right? Like, it keeps cutting out for me. I'm sorry. 1 second.
No, yeah, it's no problem.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
It's very like breaking up.
Yeah.
Hello.
And so loud and
Yeah,
clear.
you're
We can hear you.
frozen.
Yeah, we can hear you fine. And so I think it might just be your service.
Oh, yeah, I'm not. It's like, yeah, it's definitely my service. No, I'm in bad service.
Yeah, man, no
Um,
issue at all.
you sure you can hear me? Now both my screens are like
Yeah.
I can't see you or anything. Okay.
And so it's in and out. We can hear you.
Look. Yeah, I mean, look, the contract language is very standard, and it's in every single contract, right? It really is.
Yeah.
So, again, but the Bengals, were like the only team that didn't have this language in their contract already.
Okay.
Oh, it keeps cutting out.
And so yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Sorry, I keep getting calls. I think so. Where was I? Yeah. So the language is standard in every single rookie contract, really, besides for the Bengals. So, if the Bengals wanted to catch up to speed with the rest of the team, that's perfectly fine. But that's called negotiating, right? Now, if you want to change your contract language, which is based on precedent, you should obviously change your language because everybody else does it, which they do. That's fair. That's perfectly fine. But I have to, assume that language at some point in time is needed in the contract in exchange from something else. You can't just look at other teams and say, "Hey, they're doing this, so now we're doing this." There are other.
So I think we lost Zach here for a second. Zach,
Yeah,
you
my
there,
service
man?
is bad, and I really want to answer this for you.
Oh,
I really want to answer this.
All right, folks. Listen, I think that he's going to try and hop back in and connect because, like, we were getting juicy right there with the Shamar Stewart contract. Hopefully, he comes back in, man. He's going to. He's hitting me up. He said, "Give me 15 minutes." He says, "I want to answer this, but my service is trash." He's saying, ... We are talking on Instagram right now, folks. Have no fear. Have no fear. We're going to get this situated. We are going to get this situated real fast. All right, folks. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get him back at noon. Yeah, we'll be able to get him back at noon because we have some conversations we need to have, especially about Shamar Stewart. He's going to be doing his thing. He is going to be doing his thing. All right, man. Once he's locked in and he's good to go, we will be good. Yo, I finally made one of these. Well, listen, we were just on the phone with Zach Hiller just a couple of seconds ago. He is going, in my opinion, and so to be back here within 20 minutes. So that's what he said. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back on and have this conversation. He's the man. And let's make this happen. Can bro, hey, listen, he said that he was supposed to be in here in 12. I was the one that was trying to rush him back in. So that's on me, but he will be back in about 20 minutes. And that was pretty interesting. Glad he is coming back. He's going to come back and we're going to talk about this Bengals situation. We're going to talk about James Cook as well, because we all want to have an answer. We all want to know how close James was potentially to a holdout this year. Is there any signs? Has there been communication with the Buffalo Bills front office? Guys, listen, he will be joining us here again soon, I could imagine. I said hop in at noon. We're fine. Let's go ahead and tap back in to the Buffalo Bills training camp for the time being. Then hopefully Zach ends up joining us here in just a second. Guys, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on bell notifications, and hit that like button. So that was my boy, Zach Hiller. He's in the Hamptons right now. He's driving around. He's going to be somewhere soon. Hop in and have this conversation, man. We're going to be having a good time on this show. man. Shout out to Zach for giving us some time, and I can't wait to welcome him back here in a couple. If the language is the same from every rookie deal, it shouldn't have been made a big deal by Stewart when all the well, hey, listen, we're going to hear exactly what he had to say. The suspense is killing me. Oh my God, Mikey, what are we talking about? 810, 230, 225 of you in here right now, guys. Hit that thumbs up sign. We have Zach coming back in, hopefully soon. Right around 12 once he gets situated and he could hop in and have this conversation. The Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin is no longer holding out. He's holding in. That's what I said. Hold up. All right, folks. Let's get back into the Buffalo Bills camp and see what we have been missing. Okay. We have Keon Coleman. Get well soon. Oh, no, folks. We have an update. Shavers is being carted off of the field. Folks, we have an update. A terrible update right now. We have an injury out on the field right now. Terrell Shavers has been carted off of the field. It appears to be a leg injury. This is terrible, terrible news. This is terrible news right here. He was a favorite of many Bills fans out there to potentially take that 6th wide receiver spot. Let's hope for the best. Wide receiver Terrell Shavers down for an extended period of time. This is now breaking news, ladies and gents. Made TD grab in the red zone work on Max Harrison on final play of practice. Harrison worked to rip the ball out, and Shavers ended up hobbling and falling to the ground. Shavers helped to cart, unable to put weight on the right leg. Guys, we're going to have to just make sure we keep you updated here. But we have the first injury of the game. The first injury of the game. Reports are saying he was carted off. We have Keon Coleman continues. Get well soon, Shavers. Shavers being carted off the field. That is the report per Dom Tibbetts. Well, Walter, he wasn't going to be an impact player, though, but still sad. Never like to see that. Facts. Sean Kula, wait and see. He may be fine. I mean, dude, Sean, let's go ahead and hope for the best, right? And so we definitely hate to see, really, like with any injury whatsoever. But here we are. Here we are, man. Walter R., yeah, you're right. You never want to see a player go down. You don't, man. You don't. And that includes starters. That includes second strings. It's just how it is, folks. It's just how it is. And right now, folks, we are live with Khalil Shakir out on the field. And that's it. All right, folks, let's go ahead and hit the chat real fast. We are going to be waiting for Zach to come back in, have the conversation we've all been waiting to hear. Man, I know a lot of us are excited to hear what he has to say, man. He was cooking right now when it came into the Shamar Stewart situation. And I'm curious to see what else we have for him. And then we're going to dive into the James Cook status. What's going on with that? Let's see what he has to say, man. He seems like a cool dude. He seems like he's ready to talk a little bit of ball, and we are ready to get him in. Can the Bills just stay healthy for the love of God? Well, Walter, he wasn't going to be an impact player, though, but still sad. Never like to see it. Yeah, you're right. You never want to see a player come down. Fields was carted off too, and he just hurt his toe. That is a great way to look at it. I welcome that sort of optimism into this show. All right, guys, we have some questions. Guys, start flooding me in with some questions exactly the way that William has formatted it, with a question dash, so that way we can start opening up some conversations here. Let's lock in. What are the odds we panic trade for a wide receiver late season like we did with Amari last season? And because of our wide receiver room doesn't pan out, praying it doesn't happen, but I'm not super confident. Right within the receiver guys. So we're bringing back all of our main contributors from last year, right? So we have Shakir, we have Coleman, who apparently has had a really good camp thus far. It sounds like Palmer, it sounds like Elijah Moore have really been turning heads. So I think that we would need to see an injury at the position before we ended up making a trade. If anything, it's going to be exclusively focused. It's going to be exclusively focused only on what position group suffers an injury at any given moment. So that's something to look about. Dan, here on a Sunday, hustling for the people while the rest of the world is at the beach. Good shit, Dan. Well, in case you haven't noticed, I stay far away from the sun since I am white as Casper. But yeah, dude, no problem at all, man. I am happy to be here. Mic check. I knew my guy would be live. Always, man. Each and every single practice. I am in the middle, actually, of packing up this house. I'm moving here in just a couple of days. So I had to hop on live here for a second and have these conversations. Dan, are you going to live stream Hard Knocks? So that's interesting. I'm not sure if I could, right? Is that the kind of thing where like you live react? So would y'all even tune in to a live play-by-play reaction of Hard Knocks? If that's the case, then maybe I would consider it, but it's just kind of hard to think about logistically. You know what I'm saying? Why Bills players so injury prone? We got to see the Guinness World Record for injuries anytime in history. I know, man. I know. We have XO Put is saying that, yes, we would tune in to the live watch along of Hard Knocks. I mean, it's something to think about. It's something to think about real fast. What can you say? What can you say? All right. We have Big Papa Bill is coming with a question. And folks, do me a favor and pile in your questions right here, because we had Zach Hiller on a couple of minutes ago. His service was bad. He's going to be good by 12. He's going to hop in with the Shamar Stewart situation. He's going to be talking about that and his experience of how negotiating with the Cincinnati Bengals went. And then we're also going to ask him about James Cook, because we all want to know what James Cook has to say. Why Bills players so injury prone? We got to see Guinness World Record injuries any team in history. It sucks, man, but unfortunately it's part of the game. You'd probably get copyrighted if you watch Hard Knocks live, but I don't know. It might work. So I wouldn't share the screen and show Hard Knocks. But what I would do is that super similar to this. And I probably just have a live watch along and make commentary on it. One Last Breath is the best song from Creed. I'll never hate Creed. Dude, you can never hate Creed. Question, why people hate Oliver so much? I don't know, dude. It's tough to me. Who do you want to start next to Rap out of Hamlin and or Bishop? So, William, really based off of what I've heard from camp so far, surprisingly enough, so my answer is DeMar Hamlin. He's the guy that has won the job so far, but we'll see. How do you watch Hard Knocks? It is going to be live Tuesday, August 5th on HBO Max. So something to look out for. You're wrong. Dan, is there any word if Buffalo looks different in the passing game as far as formation? So the more receivers on the field, same as prior years, or no word on anything at this point. So you're wrong. So the only thing that we ultimately ended up hearing was that they are attacking deep downfield. Last year, the deep passing game was not very good. And we didn't really have many attempts, especially compared to other offenses in the NFL. From what I understand, they are really trying to make that a top priority in establishing. I haven't heard anything about change-ups in formation. I do think that if there was any sense of that or any proof of that, then we probably would have heard. So I could only assume it's probably just going to be exact same formations. Okay, so let's tap in to see what Shakir has had to say so far while we wait for Zach.
We're not just saying things, but we're doing it. About setting the example, do you feel like as you continue to spend time with this organization, your leadership?
Folks, we have the guy back. Yo, we have Zach back. Zach!
What's happening?
What's going on, man? Yo, living the dream, man. Sorry for the miscommunication there. I'm glad the service seems to be better.
Yeah. Yep. I think where I was saying that, look, yes, all the teams have the language and the clause that the Bengals wanted, so it's not unique at all, right? And I think that was their position the entire time, was like, well, if everybody else has it, we're just making it more clear is what they would like, is what they were saying. However, right, it's a negotiation. So in a negotiation, if you want something, you're supposed to offer something in return. Right? Unless the person is just going to take it. Right. And then, we obviously we're not going to just accept something, right? Unless we got something in return. And, it's not our, like again, they said Abdul Carter has this language, right? He does. He does have the language. All these guys, literally every other team has the language. But we don't know how they got there. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point.
Yeah. Got you. Got you. So I got to ask, like, how hard is it to work with the Cincinnati Bengals front office compared to other front offices you have worked with in the past?
It's not hard. That's not the way to describe it, right? Every negotiation is
Yeah.
independent of another. So,
Yeah.
again, I think they felt very strongly about their position. We felt very strongly about our position, and ultimately, you hopefully come to an agreement, and that's exactly what happened. And then, we feel great about the situation. We feel excellent about the situation. I don't
Yeah.
know how they feel, but we feel excellent about it.
Yeah. No, man, listen, you know what? Like, so making sure you fight for your clients is always number one priority right here. So last
Cut
thing
out
on
a second.
Shamar,
What'd you say?
last thing
You
on
cut out for a second.
Shamar, I did want to ask was, so leading up right until the contract was about to be signed. So there were a lot of rumors, and I'm so glad you're on. So like we can actually speak on this, that he may have been considering, or one of his options was holding out right into the season and potentially going back right into the draft. Was that really on the table, or was that all smoke we heard on the internet?
Again, right? Like the whole point is you want to have options and you want to have leverage, right? Was he actually considering going back to college? No, it never crossed his mind. Was it an option? 100% it was an option because we never signed a participation agreement. So that's why this thing became such a big deal, is because we didn't sign the participation agreement that every player signs, which essentially gives away all your leverage in negotiations with NFL teams. So when guys get drafted and they sign this voluntary waiver, they literally just throw away all their leverage. I don't have any idea why these agents recommend it or go along with it. It's complete stupidity. And that's kind of what dragged this entire process out. So Shamar going back to college was an option because we never signed a voluntary waiver that makes you an employee of a team without having to be paid. It's the stupidest thing there is.
Yeah.
So again, right? In any negotiation, you need leverage, and it was an option, but Shamar never considered it. He was like, no, I'm a Bengal, bro. I'm a Bengal. This is going to work out. This is going to work out. I'm a Bengal. That's where his head was at the entire time.
Yeah. And so I had the opportunity of meeting him right over at the Senior Bowl. Super nice young man. And I'm super glad that he was able to get his contract all situated. So, Zach, I'm not going to lie to you. One of the biggest reasons I wanted to have you on is us as Bills fans, like this James Cook situation all off season was certainly a big topic of conversation. We were so glad that he decided to show up to mandatory minicamp. He's fully participating at training camp. Had a great play today, by the way. I'm sure you're excited to hear that. But so a few months ago, we ended up seeing him on Instagram Live. He pinned that comment saying $15 million per year. And then, so with the internet being the internet, so we all started thinking the worst. Maybe it's because of PTSD from Stephon Diggs a few years ago. We all thought that him potentially holding out at minicamp and him potentially holding out at training camp was a real possibility. But here he is. So we got to ask you, was that really ever truly on the table for James? Or again, was that just smoke?
Yeah, I think James already answered all those questions at the press conference, right? Like, I think he already answered all that. So, again, I think he already really answered everything as it pertains to, the off season. And now, he's focused on, just being the best football player possible every day, going out there and, being James Cook 100%. So,
Okay. Now it's funny because like we're also hearing murmurs right across the league too, that there might still be an extension in the horizon, maybe even during camp, that these negotiations are still going on. I obviously don't want to put your relationship with James on the line, but is there anything you can tell us on where these conversations may be going? And is there a world where we could be seeing some news that he could get an extension within the next couple of weeks?
I mean, it's just kind of, obvious, right? It's like, why would they want the guy not to be a part of the Bills long term, right? Like, he just had
Mhm.
21 touchdowns. He makes that offense go. Like, it's just that's it's I'm not leaking anything or saying anything. It's like they want him there. They definitely want him there. I don't every team wants him. It's
Yeah.
like last season I used to get so many texts like he would just break these defenses, just literally these 40-yard runs. Like, I remember when he just broke open the Lions D. It was like the best on that touchdown run. I got like
Yeah.
seven texts from high people on other organizations that are just like, "Yo, that guy's incredible." Like, he doesn't get the credit he necessarily deserves because he's playing with probably the best quarterback alive right now. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, James is that guy.
Okay. So he is that guy. So still in current conversation with the Buffalo Bills. It's still ongoing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, until his contract's extended, it's obviously ongoing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, man.
That's just how
So
the
I feel like
football
that
business
smile
works.
says it all, man. I feel like that smile says it all, Zach.
Yeah,
So I'm running with it.
yeah. I actually just got to where I was going. So I if there's anything I can jump on another time, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Likewise. And so I appreciate you hopping on in,
You cut
man.
out.
And
You cut
we'll see
out.
you next time. Peace. Shout out to my boy Zach for coming on in, folks, talking about the James Cook situation here. I don't know, right? Look, like he's representing his client to the best that he possibly can. Some good stuff. Some good stuff right there, man. We learned quite a bit right about what is going on. I have a feeling that he might be hopping in, man. Let's see. Let's see. He's asking too much. He doesn't want to add much value. Ask him if he owes anything to Josh for being a good teammate and allowing James to eat at the 1-yard touchdowns. Question. Any info on Shaq Thompson, Hoyt, and the defensive tackle from the Steelers? Have not heard a word about any of them since the doping stuff. Have they looked up in the champ? They've worked a little bit. Best believe in Watson. And he didn't show any cards. He definitely didn't show any cards. But hey, listen, that's his job and we appreciate it. Folks, listen, we appreciate you for tuning in. That's going to have to do it. I need to start packing. Thanks for joining me right on this beautiful live stream day. We will see you soon, especially on Monday morning. Peace.